Here's the story of a lovely lady who was bringing up three very lovely...
Man, thank goodness. It's uNrekt.
Ahoy, fuckers! How's going out there in YouTube land? What's going on? We're on the
Welcome
World
to
Wide
the
Web when we're
late
streaming
show.
live.
Welcome. uNrekt Pyrate. What is going on? I love your background, mate. I love your background. What's going on, bro?
Oh, it's just like a unicorn, mate. It's like, have a magical day.
I love it. We're going to have a magical night tonight. We've got the crew in the back, all sorts of stuff happening. We've got an airdrop going at the moment. We got this airdrop happening. Do you know about that?
What is it? No. What is it?
We'll have a chat about that.
Not a DOGE thing, is it?
Yeah, that thing. That thing.
Is that what we're talking about? I have one stake on the stake of there.
Well, the reason we'll talk about it is because it rewards HEX stakers. So that's why. That's why we talk about it. By giving you tokens. But we'll get into that. We don't want to,
all right. Yes. That's it. We're on the Discourse Syndicate Network. Of course,
you posted.
Out there.
I've got a question for you, man. Just before you posted something in the Cutthroats room, which was just. Can you shed any light on it? Because I needed some context for that.
It's like virality, mate. Come on, get with the program. What else? What do you reckon?
Is that uNrekt Pyrate?
See that? So if there's a leak in there, I'll be like slitting someone by their shirt and curlies, mate. I'll be like, what goes in the cutthroat stays in the cutthroats.
Absolutely. But I just wanted a bit of context or clarity. I mean, that was.
Well, I'm trying to do an onboarding. I'm doing onboarding, and of course, she's got to have a she's got to haven't done the stake yet because she's like, I'm trying to get it off.
Yeah, because we were doing other things.
She's got a list of questions. She's like,
I've got a list of questions.
She's pretty clued up. This one, yeah.
Okay.
About training and when you're starting out and stuff.
All right. How are you going, by the way? How are you going? I'm 43 OG. What's your name? April.
Well, I shouldn't really do that.
Nice to meet you, April.
We've been for a big bike ride though, so I feel like, look.
I'll bring up the crew so they can all
say
I'm
looking for.
Sorry.
Yes, so pirating. Yes.
I got a feeling this is going to be an interesting show already.
What's happening, fellas? What's happening,
guys?
Hey, Sammy. Hey, Bluey. Hey, Jexxa.
Hey, how are we all? You know what I think is pretty cool is, sorry, what was your friend's name there, uNrekt? I didn't quite catch it.
It's April.
April. April. Hey, how are you, April?
Hey, April.
Looks like you're wearing a green top, which is really cool because you're.
Are you perving on me?
Blends in with it.
He's coming on to me, isn't he?
Yeah.
So what else do you pick up about that? I've had the unicorn because I'm a unicorn enthusiast. That's a more important fact, isn't it?
Yeah, the Uniswap, it just ties in or something. There's all these horses with the.
So and also we need a campaign for more rainbows because unicorns can't cross the road unless there's a rainbow. So it's a bit sad. It's a little tragedy.
Well, we saw a rainbow the other morning and it was wonderful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, it was indeed very nice, and it's a wonderful part of the world to chase unicorns.
Yeah.
What else?
Right.
What else? This is about the Hex Late Show. So look,
this is the Hex Late Show. That is right. This is the Hex Late Show. Bluey, can you tell me, where are you, bro? Where are you, Bluey? Where are you?
I'm an undisclosed location somewhere
that looks
in
beautiful. Are you
Sounds like you're in Avery.
Print
Pardon?
money while you sleep, ladies and gentlemen. This is print money while you sleep.
Absolutely, that's what Hex does. That's what Hex does. But Bluey, that looks magnificent, mate. Wherever you are.
Yeah, it's beautiful around here. Super beautiful. Yeah, it's really tropical, close to the jungle, close to the beach.
Living the dream, mate.
Somewhere in South America. Yeah.
Beautiful.
You're not giving too much away.
No, I figured it's probably good to be low on the doxing kind of thing while I'm traveling.
Yeah, that's probably
smarter.
True. Yeah.
Keep it on the down low. Apart from the streaming to thousands of people every week.
Yeah,
and getting around in your Hex shirt, that's keeping it pretty low key.
Yeah. Get myself away. Yeah.
Hey,
good.
so guys, who has claimed? Have you guys? Well, let's not dox ourselves, but there's been an airdrop out there. You guys claimed? I claimed.
I claimed.
I haven't. I will.
No,
I haven't.
No, I haven't yet. But it looks like I will. But I'm sort of going to
why
wait
wouldn't
it
you?
out
Like,
a bit.
there's no risk. Like I think if there's no risk to your bag, you're not going to have anything untoward happen to your funds. Why wouldn't you? Who knows what these things are going to do? Like
so the only thing that I could tell that was a little bit of an issue, or when we say an issue, the signing of the doing the transaction on the Etherscan, you needed a Merkle proof, and to generate that Merkle proof, uNrekt, I'm just going to mute you, mate, if you've got a bit of background noise and stuff during the stream, okay? Yeah, so and that wasn't that's not straightforward for the average person, like just generating that Merkle proof.
Mm-hmm.
So my understanding was you do it through the website, and then the website has that information server side, and then they just supply it, and that does the transaction, supplies that information for the transaction.
Mm-hmm.
The devs that we were speaking to, or we got info from, were saying that they would have preferred, if they're going to do it, they're going to want to generate that Merkle proof themselves and do it themselves. And that's because
how about we do a shout out to the chat? And say welcome to the Hex Late Show, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing wonderful out there in YouTube land, and we're here tonight talking about what's going on. So.
Yeah,
anyway,
we're talking about the claim.
We got Sammy Chicker over there rolling the streets on the in the chat all the time. Wonderful. Bloobum in the bird cage. Hey, Spenny. Hello world and fellow Hexicans. Lost legacy.
The one thing about that claiming with the Merkle proof was that there's a Telegram chat which has popped up, which is Pulse Police. And it's a group of devs who will basically check code for us and kind of do it in a public way. And when they were kind of looking at it, they couldn't replicate the Merkle proof that they had provided. And they were saying that maybe that's got to do with the method or the methodology that they were using to get that Merkle proof. I looked through all of those, I randomly sampled a whole lot of those addresses that were in the Merkle proof, just to look at, and it looked pretty legit. It looked all kind of the one kind of thing they could have done possibly is put in extra addresses there that could claim that token, and they obviously control those addresses, and so that the if anything's untoward, it's that they're inserting addresses that they control into that into that tree of addresses that can claim.
The-
But it
yeah.
doesn't look like they have from my random sampling.
But so if you're creating like a token, you're the one that sets the tokenomics of it. So if you wanted to do that, you would just design the token in such a way so that you had an allocation. I've got to be honest, I haven't had a look at the tokenomics to find out exactly how it's all designed. So I don't think you need to be nefarious and insert addresses. If you wanted to take a portion of the supply, you would just take a portion of the supply. You'd build that into the tokenomics.
Yeah, it's just that would be more obvious on the blockchain as
Yeah, but
opposed
it'd be
to slipping it into a whole lot of addresses.
Yeah, but the downside
people,
is
people
would find
fuck
out.
this shit pretty. Yeah, people will find out. So they're gonna fuck it pretty hard.
Yeah.
And when they do, and they
Yeah.
find out, it's gonna be this whole idea of someone doing something like trying to hide it, and that's worse. You're better off just So I actually don't think any of that's going on. I just think it's
you just give them your Trezor. Just say, "Oh, look, I'll use Trezor Suite. That's your accounting software," and then you'll be right. You'll be fine. Whatever software you decide to use for accounting.
So
hey, I got a new.
Hey, uNrekt. Hey,
question.
uNrekt.
What?
Let us finish our discussion, mate. Like you're jumping in, cutting us off. Let us finish our discussion, buddy. Okay, we're talking about, the important stuff to do with this. So that's the issue that I thought there was with it. Okay, I just thought that that transparency part of it wasn't there. And it would have been nice if you could just go claim on Etherscan without any of that. But I think there was some simplification to the process on their side of doing it this way. I think it meant less code, less contract code and less stuff, to do with that. And maybe it just made it easier for them. But I haven't seen anyone with an issue. And that doesn't mean I'm not a coder. I haven't read the code. I don't know how to read the code. I just took other people's advice and just made what I made out of it. And went and claimed.
Yeah, look, I think it's pretty clear there is going to be a lot of free airdrops, both for HEX holders, Pulse holders. Like, there's going to be a raft of these things come through, and I think it's a good thing. As long as you check everything and you're doing it in a safe way, claim all the airdrops. They're there to be claimed, and you only need one or two of these things to really rock it off, and it can be worth quite a lot of money. I mean, we've seen it happen a lot over the past 2 years.
I have to say,
a lot of free money.
Yeah, I have to say, I really kind of thought it was quite interesting the way they did the distribution, because they're weighting the distribution to mid-tier HEX stakeholders as opposed to just the whales getting a lot. And
it's the lowest who get the most.
It's the middle.
No,
it's
the
middle. Squids.
No,
I think squids
Squids
do the
and
best.
sharks.
No,
I've got the
you work it out.
photo.
Work it out. As it goes down, it's a 10x. It's a logarithmic scale, but each level down does not divide by 10. It divides by less than 10. So you're actually getting more per B share as the further you go down. So you actually get more. If you actually had as many, let's say you had as many T shares across multiple accounts, you'd actually get way more with a whole lot of crab accounts than if you had the same amount of dolphin accounts.
Yeah,
Because
dolphin get the most.
But when you look at how they've decided to distribute it, they've actually shown which classes will get how much.
But listen. I have a magic wand. A magic wand. You see? It's a Mr. Happy Dress Up Day. Mr. Happy Dress Up Day. Here we go. It's got rainbows and unicorns all the way. I'm just winning over here is the most beautiful prom queenish just a sensation you've never seen before, and I'm just oh yeah, I've got an eye for certain bits of talent. Yeah.
My point is that this could be the age of interesting distributions. It's now happened that HEX stakers are starting to be identified as a class of people to airdrop to, because they potentially have diamond hands or whatever reason people want to airdrop hexagon stakers. And there are some other interesting things with their airdrop, like HSI Hedron stakes can't claim it. I believe it's very hard for staker app people to claim it.
It's not very hard. It's exactly the same. It's to claim it for staker. It's exactly the same as claiming Hedron.
That's what they said, but I think people have been having a lot of problems with claiming their one specifically. I mean,
No.
I don't know.
No.
They haven't.
So,
So that's been confirmed that it is possible to claim if you've got Hedron stakes.
No, you can't. Yeah, you
No,
can't.
you
They could.
Yeah.
No, they could have done that, and I think it was a conscious decision on their behalf not to. And the guy who was kind of promoting it on Twitter, he kind of he kind of called out Hedron as giving whales. So they made it a point of difference that their distribution was to the lower tiers, whereas to Hedron just made the whales richer.
Yeah, but that shouldn't stop people who've made Hedron stakes from claiming. But then again,
that's a technical issue.
Yeah,
but I'm just looking at the kind of politics of it a bit. Like they kind of came out and criticized Hedron for doing that. It looked like just a way to get attention, and it looked like it worked. You know, create drama, and that's what people like.
Bit of that going on lately.
It's interesting though. It's interesting because like if you're a dolphin, you get 900 PLSD. But I mean, if you're a squid,
750,
squid is 750. But to be a squid, you can be 10x less, right? So for 10x less, you're getting 650 opposed to 900. And then the one below that is 10x less, but the reduction is not 10x less in PLSD. And as it goes down, it's 10x less, 10x less, 10x less, and they don't go down by 10x less. They reduce by so it's actually if you have lots of wallets, smaller wallets, if you have lots of them, you do a lot better than if you just had big wallets, which is an interesting way of doing it. Like it is an interesting way, and it's legit because that's the way they wanted to do it. Hey,
I've been out of touch for the last couple of weeks. I've been away on holidays and things like that. Was there a date when the snapshot was taken? So that Merkle tree was taken.
Yeah, the 20th of April. 20th of April.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is a good comment from Hex Machine. We need to be vigilant. Eventually, one of the airdrops will be malicious, be a malicious DApp, and some will lose their crypto. Absolutely, that is 100% going to happen. That's 100% going to happen. We do need to be vigilant.
The other interesting thing, like he was interviewed on Discourse Syndicate, the guy who was promoting it, and the other interesting.
Easy tangent.
So, you guys like this? You guys like this PulseChain colored hoodie?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Cool.
It's not technically Pulse merch, but I'm rocking it as if
You
got a very ghosty appearance as well, mate. You look very stealth.
Oh, around the edges, yeah. I don't have the green screen up. Sorry about that. How is everyone? Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
Well, mate. Go well.
Yeah, good.
Right.
Good.
You're
Very good.
By your standards, mate, you're a couple of hours early, aren't you?
What's that uNrekt? Is it a chicken?
Yeah, I'm choking the chicken over here. Look.
The other, as I was saying before, right? The other interesting thing was that he's pretty out and out. This is a meme coin, and he's basically his argument is that meme coins attract attention, and they attract people outside the HEX ecosphere, and so he called it imperative that their tactic is that like create our own meme coin that could become as popular. And so that's why he's taken the name Dogecoin, Pulse Dogecoin.
But what's an interesting
an interesting
part of that is that there was already another like Pulse Doge Win coin or whatever.
Yeah.
So there was
Yeah.
already one there, and
Yeah,
and
everyone's
this one-
jumping. Everyone's jumping on this fucking doggy thing, hey? This doggy meme coin thing because it was so successful, a la Elon and all that kind of shit.
Doggy,
Like,
doggy.
people, I mean, and you know, when it comes down to it, a lot of this, or most of this, is social consensus as to the value of these things. Like, it's all social
Which is
consensus.
the value of the community. The HEX community
And
is the
you have to admit that that
pinnacle,
memes
pinnacle.
are a form of social consensus. That the popularity of memes is how they, you know. So
hey,
don't
giving
know.
stakers free coins, I think, is an awesome thing. So if anyone's
I
out
love
there
it.
thinking about
yes.
about making a coin and you want to airdrop HEX stakers, for fuck's sake, stop watching this stream, go code and
Do it.
Go do it, man.
And
Fucking do
and
it,
see, the
man.
thing is, there are so many different distribution methods that you could use now, isn't there? Like what if you airdrop Maxi holders?
Or the sack
What if you-
phase. No.
Yeah, or the
Yeah.
sack phase. It's a
The
different type of
sacrifice,
distribution,
the
exactly.
sacrifice, yeah.
You know,
Stakers are a different class of investor, though.
Yeah,
In
it's a bit-
a
Yeah.
general sense, like they've locked up coins for a very, very long time, so they've got that sort of behaviour. But that doesn't. Okay, Hedron has been a case in point that if you give people, if you overweight that, people will dump the hell out of it. Like they're not just going to hold everything for the sake of holding it. So, yes, they're a qualified group of people in terms of that they know how to delay gratification. That doesn't necessarily mean they will with your project, though.
no, yeah. Good point.
Yo, have you guys talked about the Richard getting the blue check mark from Elon Musk?
Not yet.
No, we haven't.
No.
We don't know whether it was there any confirmation that it was.
Well, there's been a few people on
yeah,
Twitter.
that was confirmation. It's called the timing.
Yeah.
It's pretty much
Yeah.
a coincidence. Like,
And there's a
Yeah.
number of people who have been banned from Twitter who have been let back on the platform, like literally the next day after he did that. Not even.
Awesome.
So
That's
it's
so
amazing
cool.
how quickly it happens. Like he just buys it, and all of a sudden, like they're reducing the censorship on the platform. That's
Yep.
kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's actually not a blue check mark if you're on dark mode.
Dark
It's
mode.
a white,
It's white.
it's a white check.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering what everyone was going on about blue check. I'm going, what?
It took me ages to work that out. Yeah.
I thought they were
Why is everyone
gatekeeping
calling
my
it
blue pixels on my screen or something. I don't know what they were
Did you
doing.
guys see that meme where it's Ari from Entourage? He's got the paintball gun and he's just going around through the office just
Shooting
messing
people.
everyone up.
It's Elon shooting people at Twitter. Well, all these Twitter people have also come out saying, "I'm not going to be on the platform now because Elon controls it."
Imagine,
Those
guys, imagine this as a power move, like full. So, I know this would be going against free speech, but imagine this just for the lols. Elon brings Trump back on Twitter, runs the narrative so hard that Trump gets reelected, and then they just powerhouse that shit and just and bring back freedom of speech.
Awesome. I love
That's
it.
right.
I'll bring back Trump.
Can
That
you
was unfair,
imagine?
he got beaten
It'd
off.
just be an absolute power couple.
Great meat suit.
What's that you've put there, Jexxa? You've just put something in there.
It was just a comment that a news reporter on MSNBC
I saw
made
that.
about Elon buying the platform, which was just so ironic. It's not
He was
funny.
going to. It was going to like potentially affect elections and all that sort of thing, which is exactly what they've been doing.
That's right.
You know, forever.
Wait, the hypocrisy is out of control, yo. Did you see
it's
the
insane.
Senator Warren, Senator Karen, with her tweet about how it's like we need to tax the rich. It's like I saw an awesome tweet that said they don't care when billionaires have control. They care when billionaires have control who they don't control.
Yeah.
That's all they care about is if they don't have the control. They don't give a shit about anything else.
Well, the only thing that matters in crypto is the number go up. So let's look at the charts. Tangers, that's your specialty,
And
mate.
I'm just glad that everything's getting mixed up, you know.
Yeah, freedom of speech and all the censorship and all that stuff.
By the way, our shit's getting lifted here on Friday. WA Jexxa.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Where Jexxa and I are, we're getting everything lifted. So that's cool.
That's awesome.
We can actually travel.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Cool.
You guys want charts? Yeah, the hex price is actually not looking too bad.
Yeah.
In terms of
it's in a really tight.
Oh, there's heaps of questions. All right. Heaps of questions. We've got a question over here.
Oh yeah.
I kind of want to ask everybody though.
Come in.
And I'd like you to answer.
Close to the mic. You're speaking to the mic.
Oh, this is a real question. Like, this is not just a chat question. This is a real.
This is live.
Yeah,
live from April. April's our guest.
You haven't met April yet, have you, Tangent?
I don't think I have. Hi, April. How you
How
going?
many times meet the Tangent? You like?
Oh, this is what I'm interviewing now. So like.
Yeah. So get. Yeah.
I've got my questions here. I'm a happiness coach.
Far away,
okay?
April.
Happiness coach. Oh, by the way,
I'm a little bit nervous, but let's see how we go.
And I'll be
And I'm not gonna
Yeah,
ask you, like, about your
The
first
notepad's got me stressing, yo.
I accused the guy in the cryovac thing today of being on YouPorn before we got there because he shooed us away. But anyway, okay. So my first question is, how do you keep yourselves motivated and happy and healthy while you're hexting? Huh? Come on, any tips and tricks? Like when you're at home, working from home, you're crunching numbers. It can be stressful. Like, what are you guys doing to keep yourselves happy? We have an orgasm.
For me, it's super easy, super quick answer is I'm genuinely so passionate about crypto and the crypto space that for me, I don't need to try and keep my drive high. It's just well, that's the way to send the price up, isn't it? You guys need to get more passionate about it. Talk about it more, huh? How about everyone else?
Yeah.
That wasn't going to be my answer, Tangent, but that is a cracker of an answer. And so when I get up in the morning, I don't feel like I'm doing work. I just come into my office and I get cracking, and I'm dealing with at the moment.
I bet you watch porn first.
At the moment, I'm dealing with a team based all around the world, and it's just fun working with smart people.
Yeah, that's a great answer too. Who's next? Come on. Anybody?
I'll go to gym. I'll go to gym.
I like to do gyms too, but I don't keep them at home, you know. I just leave them at their houses. There's one right here. Look, this is my gym.
I like to. I like to go. I like to get a good sweat. I like to get a good workout. Yeah. If I get the more I do of that, the more workout, the more often I do that, the more motivated and the more energetic I feel. So just doing that on a regular basis.
Bluey's a Wim Hof expert. He's mastered it over here. He was all doing all through there.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, he's like, I want it for over a year at least.
Yeah, it's a good time. My Alexa says, this is a reminder. It's time to Wim Hof at about 10:30 every day. She's a good time. She's so helpful.
We love good times. It's all good times in rock and roll.
Happy.
And that's what we're all about. And the Hex coin and PulseChain. When PulseChain.
Everybody hasn't answered, I don't think this guy down here.
Bluey, we would like to be a bit hesitant when we let him speak sometimes.
Sorry, I'm beg your pardon.
I told you that.
I mean, I find this whole community incredibly exciting to be in at the moment. This is the future of the world. This is the future of finance, and it's got where all the innovation, it's where all the innovation is happening. I find it just incredibly exciting to be.
It is, isn't it? I love Elon too. Elon all the way. Give me a fucking Neuralink, and I'll be up in the orbiting hotel having fucking a good time.
I'll be there too.
Yep.
I'll be in that. Just sign me up.
Anyway, aside from that, thank you all. And there's one more question that I have. And if you could give a tip to a new hexer, what would it be? And for and also how do you stay motivated with keeping up with it all? Is there something that clicked with you that made you be more, into it, or just some advice, perhaps?
That's a big question.
I know, right? I just couldn't quite get it
easy. My answer's easy again. Go large. Go large. That's my advice.
Go large. You go,
go large.
And how are you cashing out? What's your sorry, actually, I won't go into that.
You would
listen. If you're just getting into crypto, you're already talking about cashing out. Has
Oh, no,
anyone seen
it's-
that meme?
all
Has
do,
anyone
they
seen
all
that
do, they
meme?
all do.
You know the
I'm thinking,
meme
yeah,
of like all
I'm
the
coming close, coming to the end of the
Yeah,
financial
and
year. I'm a
like,
happiness coach. I've already
yeah,
made
yeah.
a bit of money, so I've got to be careful.
Yeah.
You know?
Jexxa's actually got an answer for you that
Yeah.
that I think is the best answer. I won't steal it from him, but Jexxa, I think LL might be the answer to that question.
Yeah, I'll give you two answers then.
Okay.
So the first, my original answer was going to be exactly what you're doing now, and that's engage with the community. So reach out, be part of the community, be part of Twitter. Oh, you're definitely engaging with the community. I can see.
Yeah, just, just having a good time.
I like it. You like it.
Yeah,
you
I think
lick
that keeps you enthusiastic and keeps you learning, and that's when you find out about all the good things going on. So definitely that.
We've all got a role, hey?
Yeah, in terms of cashing out, find clever ways to where you can cash out in tax efficient ways and never have to get rid of the things that are making you money.
I'll sell you a few hotel receipts if you like.
Exactly, yeah. Pirate's life for me. It's a pirate's life for me. And yeah, it's good. It's living the dream.
Yep, we're riding unicorns into the sky.
That's it. It's the unicorn collective.
It's a unicorn collective.
That's right.
And
Copyright.
choose happiness. Woo,
Yep.
woo, woo. Happiness coaching all the way. If anybody needs a good time, I can tell you how to do it. Dizzy Wizzies are a good one.
Like I said, I'm single now and 12 months of smooth sailing out on the nice flat, good tailwind.
Until I come with my boat and
That's
knock you
good,
off.
mate. That's good. You want to get into a good place.
Yeah. So is everybody like having orgasms? My last question.
Right now, I am. As we speak.
As we speak.
That's right. It's a mind gathering, isn't it?
Hey,
she has a sexy mind.
down.
She's a sexy
Okay,
mind. I'm telling you now.
No, but I'm not. I'm a little bit inappropriate, but I just like to engage with everybody about it. Because it's
There's a reason. There's a reason why you only see our top halves in here. We're all sitting here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I was going to get under the table when you guys have been boring before. So. Anyway.
I'm just the man.
Thank you.
Really
very much
nice to meet you.
Thanks for dropping by, April.
Nice to meet you, April. Thanks for dropping by.
Hope to hex with you soon, and capital HEX,
Oh look, this is tuned into G, so it's got like probably a couple of G's in there. Look, ooh, nice. I'm dying. I said that. Hey.
All right, let's have a look at this chart. Tangent. You had a chart and we put it up for 2 seconds and then we got rid of it. So we'll put it up have a look.
No, we've been quiet now.
Nice.
Right.
Okay, there we go.
So I've just been looking at this. There's a bit of a short time frame support here that we're just above, or that we just bounced off recently. This is a daily chart actually. So maybe we'll just bring this down to 4 hour. But yeah, a couple of times I said that the good news. In fact, sorry, it was exactly 1 week ago when I said that we've been maintaining these higher lows. And so I think we've put in one more since that stream. And what date would that have been? So we were on the 19th. Actually, sorry, we would have actually just clipped this line on the stream. So yeah. So that trend line has held. And I mean, this one up here probably needs to be redrawn like this, so that it's not something like that. And let's hope that the thing breaks up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do we still think that as we get closer to the launch of Pulse, we're going to have a bit of a lift-off happening? I mean, does anyone agree with me on that?
I've actually been making a list of trying to list all possible extreme outcomes. So say, I'll give you some examples, right? Like, I guess the most extreme is just all of crypto just gets completely effed, right? Like everything, including Richard Hart projects, just everything, just the arse end falls out of crypto as the most extreme. but other shit like say like EHEX dumps, and PHEX only just stays flat. You know, all the stables get turned off on PulseChain. Like these are like as separate line items. Trying to imagine these kind of like likely worst case scenarios, and then imagining saying, if that happened, how would I feel? Would I be upset? Would I be okay financially? What mitigation strategy can I put in place to offset that if that does actually eventuate? So, because obviously there's a lot of unknowns surrounding this because it's never been done before. Specifically impacting our favorite projects because we're tied in deeply to this PulseChain launch. So whereas that creates a lot of opportunity, I think there's also risks involved as well.
Yeah, I think
as there is with everything in crypto, you know.
So there's the things you can control and the things you can't control, and I think from a things you can control perspective, the core dev team seem to be taking a pretty good approach. We're not rushing. We've got most of the core services are up and running. So I think they're trying to do their best to make sure the things that they can control are good. The things you can't control, I mean, there's so many of them. Like it's a very complex beast. Just in what we've seen in the last since version 2B of the testnet has come out, there is so much activity going on there. We've seen new projects coming out every day. There's so many things you have to try and consider that it's almost impossible to pin it down.
But I guess my point is just trying to ensure that you're positioned in a way that you don't get totally wrecked from any one of these like possible bad outcomes. So another one on my list is just like crazy volatility between all the assets and stuff like that. Just basically saying, just considering, you know, what you would do. Would you wait for things to calm down, or would you try and like have, you know, someone tweeted on my shit saying set limit orders, but obviously that becomes problematic because some of these tokens don't even exist yet, like PLS and PLSX. You can't set limit orders. The market doesn't exist. And with HEX, you typically need to use a centralized exchange to do it. So, but I'm just basically just like brainstorming worst case scenarios and making sure that it's like that the result is not like financial wreckage from any one of those occurring.
Yeah. So the volatility and all that, I think that's just a given. You've got to expect that. The worst case scenario for me would be no adoption. But do you really think that's
no adoption of Pulse or like some kind of like chain fail, like Solana style, the chain going down sort of thing. Yeah.
That would be pretty catastrophic. I would have thought something like that. But as far as no adoption, I don't think that is even. I don't think that's really possible because
I think it might be slower than we think. I think we might be slower than we think. I think that we probably overestimate the knowledge that PulseChain is coming out, and that everyone has these free copies of their ERC20s, and it is a possibility that this adoption will be a slow burn as opposed to a massive adoption straight from
that's not a terrible thing though. That's not terrible either.
No, it's just it seems to me that there's a ton of people out there, even though within our community it's quite well known. In the greater ETH community, I don't think it is from the sounds of who I've been talking to, and so they kind of dismiss it, you know.
Yeah, T-Bird's comment that he's just put there.
Oh, T-Bird's in my bad books, yo. T-Bird's in my bad books.
What's he done?
He tweeted out saying Bitcoin is a scam. He literally had a tweet that said Bitcoin is a scam, and I saw red, man.
Well, how are you going to deal with this?
Publicity is good publicity.
How are you going to deal with the place and hole over here?
So the one thing we know is that there was about 2 or 3 times more wallets sacrificed for PulseX. And it looks like those wallets have engaged with the testnet potentially and brought Pulse. It's gone from 40,000 wallets in that sacrificed for Pulse to 130,000 wallet holders. So that's you would like to think that's a pretty reasonable indication that there's people that are getting on the chain and playing with it. And they would have had to have swapped.
130,000 or 130 million? Did he just say 130 million?
130,000 wallets.
That can't be right. Right.
Yeah.
But also, you think, but people have multiple addresses.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah. But then not everyone would play on testnet either.
That's true. Yeah. You know, you would think that you'd think on the news of let's say he says, okay, it's going to happen in 2 weeks. You would imagine that the HEX price would pump on that news and then sell off just before it as people try to take in profits.
Like
that seems
buy
to be
the rumor,
general,
sell the news sort of shit.
Yeah, that seems to be the general pattern with stuff like that. And then maybe ETH dumping a bit straight after it, or the HEX ETH price dumping a bit straight after it. But the thing is this news has been brewing for so long now that maybe that all of those prices are already built in to the price, you know. So whether people buy because they think it's going to pump, to try
I think
to
this
get some
comment's
easy profit.
spot on.
I reckon. Yeah,
record participation on any crypto testnet ever.
When have you ever really been excited to play on a testnet? Like no one does that.
No
shit.
one, never.
What's up, Johnny Chaos? What's up, Johnny Chaos?
Normally, it's only the devs and the most diehard, hardcore nerds that go on testnets.
So who here? This is probably a little bit of not a great. Okay, in chat, who here has ever really played on Rinkeby or Ropsten Network before in their life, before this came about?
I had actually,
or just any testnet of any crypto.
Not as much as I am now. Now I'm
now's the most I've ever done for sure.
Let's be honest though, most of these crypto projects fucking are testnets. Like their legitimate projects are basically testnets.
Yeah. This is true.
It's true. It's just very hard. It's very hard to gauge the interest outside of our community because we are just are surrounded by our community.
Yeah, but that's fine. Because we've got.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying
we're infectious. We're infectious in the way we, once PulseChain launches, we're going to have the same enthusiasm about PulseChain and telling people as we have about HEX. So look at how the enthusiasm about HEX has gone for the last 2 years. The same thing's going to happen with Pulse, but the difference is going to be you're going to have a hook, and the hook is, hey, did you guys have any like ERC20 tokens in your wallet? Because if you do have, you guys have like free ones over here. You don't have to the same keys. All you have to do is just go grab them. The hook to get people in to PulseChain is going to be so much easier than getting people into HEX. So much easier.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Or not even from a marketing perspective, but just from what it is. So everyone will see another L1 come out, and they know what these other ones have done. They know there's been 100x on most of them.
The pitch is so much easier.
Yeah,
so easy.
And what I really like about it,
simplicity of a pitch, for the simplicity of people understanding what a token actually does.
Yep.
And its adoption because of that. Like PulseX, like uni, done. I understand that. Pulse, it's just a layer 1, done. I understand that. Even Maxi is simple, hey? Things like Hex and Hedron, they take a lot more understanding.
Yeah, and in my mind, PulseChain has been built from the view of financial products from the get-go. Like everything that's been built there is about wealth generation, real good tokenomics built into the projects, and not just obviously we're getting our meme coins and things like that pop up, but the core projects that are launching on there are financial tools. They're all financial tools.
Wait, so does anyone else have an example that they can give me to add to my list of something they've thought of that would mess them up, and the strategy that they've put in place to mitigate that. Because you guys see the subtle difference with what I'm saying here. It's that I'm not trying to like make a prediction of what is going to happen and then make a strategy surrounding that. I'm literally just trying to mitigate against those like edge cases that are like really bad.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I seen your tweet that you put out, and I think it's too hard to know. Like, there's
you mean
what
that?
about Tangent? What about World War III? Like, that'd really fuck everyone over.
So like macro, yeah, that's a good point, Sammy. Macro could f everything up.
That's actually, if anything is the threat, that is probably the biggest threat. So at the moment, there's the whole macro thing with bonds, yield changing, and things like that. There's a lot going on from the macro side of things, which we don't know.
Crypto just getting caught as collateral damage.
That's right. We don't know how crypto's going to.
If the internet went down, do you think that's bad for crypto?
Bro, I want realistic ones. Like I want
the internet went down in Tasmania because some dude cut a cord in Tassie for like 3 days, like about a month ago. Some motherfucker cut a cord like
they cut like an international. They cut like the international optic fiber.
Bro, no one could do shit. No one could do shit. They couldn't. Like there was no ATMs. All the shops went. We can't sell anything. Let's just fucking close. Everyone went home, dude.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Like crypto is the least of your worries if that happens. Like,
but hey, guess what? How's this, right? If the internet goes down, fucking no one's selling. Who the fuck is selling, man?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's all just a database. As soon as the internet spins up again, it's all just there and it's all ready to go. So I don't
I always have thoughts.
Buying.
I always think like that too, Tangent. There's something in the back of my mind saying, yeah, we all get filthy rich, but then something shit's going to happen. You know, like just wreck it all for it's just too good to be true. You know?
Yeah, we were talking about Donald Trump before, and we've got an election happening in Australia later this year, and T-Bird sent me a video of who's that guy? The yellow dudes.
Freaking Craig Kelly. Craig Kelly. So I watched it. It's a good speech.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting to see if they get. But you know,
they're standing on a platform of freedom. They're standing on predominantly a platform of freedom.
But I noticed something very, very interesting at the start of his speech. He's like, if we form government, it's like those guys are not forming government. Like, let's get that straight. They are not forming government.
Oh, like a minority party to take it out.
They are not forming government.
Because he said when. He said when. He didn't say if. He said when.
When we form government, so everything he's saying, you just have to put it into context. He's saying if we're in power, these are the things we're going to do, right? So the chances are they're not going to be in power, but the question is this: what will they try and influence? Because they are going to win some seats. They're going to win some stuff, for sure. For sure, they're going to win. some stuff.
Hopefully they keep fighting for medical autonomy. Freedom of speech, freedom, and just general.
What did you think
rights,
of the bill of the Bill of Rights thing? Was interesting, hey?
Oh yeah. I thought that was quite good.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon we need a Bill of Rights?
I haven't seen that speech stuff. You've got it floating around, guys.
I thought it was dangerous that he said, you know, we'll plan to edit the Constitution to make it like better, but
they can't. Need a referendum.
But also, I don't like the idea of it being like easily modifiable because
it's not.
Then someone can just come in and modify it in the bad way. So like,
dude, it has. You cannot modify the Constitution without a referendum.
The other thing I was thinking, he said he was going to fund the budget deficit by having a 15% tax on iron ore to China. And I used to work in mining, like One Steel, like the. It's not called One Steel.
I worked for One Steel. Yeah, I was like that.
Yeah,
hey.
And so like I didn't ever dive deep into like the economics, but I knew enough about it to know that shit won't fly. Like, as in, they wouldn't be able to get away with that. Just
Listen,
adding
in the
15%
context, think of it in the context of the current global situation.
Yeah, I guess for shit's pretty crazy.
So you've got like China saying, okay, the Australian wine, fuck you guys. Like, we're just putting massive tariffs on it. You know what I'm saying?
True,
Like,
true. True.
This is how they play ball. Like, this is
Good
how
point.
other countries play ball. So they need our shit, dude. They need our iron ore. They fucking need it.
It's from Tasmania.
No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't.
Yeah, they do, bro.
They did.
Yeah, they do.
They did
Dude,
stockpile. They did
bro,
stockpile.
this idea
a
that
lot
South
of
America
iron ore.
can supply the iron ore for a country like China is
No,
ridiculous.
but
they don't have the
wait.
infrastructure to do it. Like,
They
to the
did.
level
Also
that
got Russia.
Ring the cowbell.
Like, also got Russia. They're getting energy from Russia, and they're like getting all the raw materials they need from Russia now. Anyway.
Day 43.
Like,
they
but
stockpile
they don't
a
need
shitload of
Australia.
iron
and
ore.
they'll be sweet, and they don't need to put a military base in the Solomon Islands, mate. Like, why are they putting why are they wanting to put military bases on the Solomon Islands? Like,
China,
dude, yeah. Why are they making
because
like deals
they're
with
fucking
the Solomon
scared
Islands?
of America and the West generally.
Bro, they're moving down south.
Because they're intimidating.
What was it again?
No, they didn't. They're not building. Okay, first of all, building. They're not building.
It was really.
They're not building.
Hang on a sec.
They're
Hey,
not building
uNrekt,
them.
can you mute? Can you mute, mate?
Oh,
If
yes.
you-
I remember. I'm not like, I'm just like putting it out there that in case anyone's wondering, I found out, I was like down at the gas station, I found some of these pills here, and I got the hero ones as well, and they're bloody awesome. And I'm not making, I'm single, and I'm not friends with any women. I'm just fucking them, right? Yeah, well, one of these. Look. Ooh.
Is that a teddy bear cock ring? Jesus fuck.
Shit, our little buddy is like fucking boo boo boo. That's a good time.
Fucking hell.
Don't be friends with them, just fuck them. I'm going to write a song called that. Yeah. There you go.
Wait, that would actually make sick lyrics. They would be good lyrics.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that 140 people tune in to watch this live.
Right. Well, it's just us talking. We used to do it when no one. It's the best in a bottle. We're trying to like help people. Like they rather watch cat videos and learn about like trying to educate themselves about how to manage their own destiny with the money. Yeah, why not?
That's
Crypto's
true.
like the best place to be.
Hey,
You're not there.
I've been on hiatus for a couple of weeks. Have you guys? You've gone over Maxi in detail and had a good chat about that.
Let's have a chat about Maxi, actually. So for those of you who don't know, Maximus DAO is a contract that was created. And really, we do really need to give props to Dipcatcher. And who was the other guy? Is it Golden Key or what's Gold Key? Those guys created a contract, and they do not benefit from it in any way, shape, or form over and above what everyone else can benefit from it. So it's a contract which basically pulls everyone's contributions into one big stake, so that people can get the bigger pay, like get a cut of the bigger pays better bonus. So in the HEX contract, the more you stake in one stake, there's a bonus, like a 10% bonus max at 150 million HEX, which the Maximus DAO has already achieved that. So if you put in to that, it's a 15-year stake, and you're going to mint for every HEX that you put into that, you're going to mint a Maxi token, right? And at the end of the stake in 15 years, that Maxi token will get you your percentage share of the pool. And that pool is going to get an extra 10% T shares because it's reached that 150 million HEX threshold, which is coded into the HEX contract. So that's just a quick rundown, and props to those guys. They don't get anything out of it. They don't get any bonus. They don't get any extra Maxi. They don't get anything. They just did it as a community benefit.
They paid for the audit.
They paid for it. They paid for it, and those guys deserve a lot of respect from the community because they've done something that just really benefits the small guy. And these small guys who want to do a 15-year stake can get an extra 10% T shares by doing it through the Maxi, and then you get the Maxi token. There is always extra contract risk with anything, but I think this is a pretty simple contract and it's pretty straightforward. So good on those guys.
My thought is you're going to see a lot. If this is the last one, I'll be surprised. And I'll tell you what, so I
have one every year.
I reckon it's a cracker of an idea, and I'll tell you why. If for corporate entities that want to be able to get in but can't do the staking and all that, but want the benefit of the 15-year appreciation, this is an easy way for them to move in and out of HEX and get the benefit of those 15-year positions. If you're in a self-managed super fund or something like that, it's nice, very simple way, very clean way of doing things without having to worry about staking and how do you report that. And so there's a raft of other uses where I see this being, other than just helping the little guy. I think there's a lot more avenues for this to be used, almost like a unit trust. So you can use it as to divvy up shares in a unit trust on a 15-year stake. So there's a raft of cool things I can see that you can do with this. So I'll be very surprised if it's the last one that happens.
I mean, it just solves that problem of people wanting to do really long stakes. It just solves that problem of people wanting to do long stakes, but wanting to have the access if necessary.
So there was
this maximizes their.
And so also the end stake is only one end stake for all the contributors. It's only one end stake. So there's going to be a massive saving there. I think for however many contributors there are, you've got to at least say that it's going to be anywhere between half an ETH to an ETH to end stake, a 15-year stake. So for the Maximus contract,
you would think this is going to mop all of those short-term rolling stakes. Because you're much better off just having Maxi and then having the option any time.
So if you're concerned, like if you're worried about locking up, this is a no-brainer. We've just literally seen over 150 million HEX taken out of circulation for 15 years. And that's potentially HEX that was sitting there going, I don't know if I want to push it out for 15 years. I'm a little bit uncertain. Now you've given people the confidence to do it, but with a way to be able to de-risk if they need to.
I guess the only risk with it would be that if you did get it and then let's say it's a few years down the track and you wanted to take some out, but the market for Maxi, for whatever reason, just can't get you what you want. Like you would think that there'd be
say that again, mate. I didn't quite catch that.
Well, let's say you've worked out how much you think your Maxi is worth in terms of HEX and the interest it's accrued and stuff like that, and you want to take some of it out. But Maxi is its own market, and so we don't know what that market will do into the future. You would think that if it ever falls low, that people would buy it up. Like that just makes and they sell it if it got too high.
This is the one thing I like about it. I think the price is very easy to track the price.
Yeah, I agree. I agree totally. But I'm just saying there is this unknown. I don't know what the market will be in the future. Whether people will we're going to know what
Maxi should be worth. We're going to know what it should be worth, right?
That's my point.
But then the market is going to do what it does.
I disagree. I reckon we'll know exactly what it's worth at any point in time.
Yeah. We'll know. We will.
We will know how much it should be worth, but
we'll know how much it should be worth. Yeah.
And for instance, if you wanted to take out a certain amount, how much slippage that would be and stuff like that, So
that's the only thing that would change is if you're trying to buy it or sell it, and there's slippage there because there's not enough liquidity to do it. But it is very clear. I thought it would oscillate a lot more away from the value of the underlying asset, but looking at the website and the way it's tracking how many HEX per Maxi are backing it up, how much Hedron's backing up, the current price of those. You've got a snapshot in time that is its value. So I don't reckon it's going to diverge.
Dollar cost crypto strategy.
I don't think it will at
Hey,
all.
dollar
I think
cost
it's a great product. I'm just kind of like trying to think of edge case scenarios. The same with HSI.
Hey guys,
Stake.
sorry to butt in.
Like-
I'm gonna lash.
Shout out to the chat.
It's
Love
gonna
you
go.
all.
Sammy.
Hey, Sammy, before you go, do you want to do Hexagon of the Week?
Yeah,
Hexagon
I'll let you
Legend.
finish.
Hexagon
I've
Legends.
got to get up early. That's all.
Oh, do you?
So,
Well, that sounds
yeah.
like whinge.
I know, and I got up early this morning, and I'm tired. That's why I'm quiet tonight, because I'm just like
Lips moving, words coming out, not hearing.
Let's just do it quickly, Sammy, because you sent one through.
Yeah,
there,
just do it. Just do it.
All right,
before you go.
Lots of plum trees, a sheep, a tuak, a kangaroo, a clothesline out the back.
That's a knife. All I had was me undies on.
Hey, so the hexagon of the week.
This
week is Jexxa. One of the hexagons of the week is Jexxa because he made it on Cointelegraph. Alex Saunders issues a public apology and claims to be settling crypto dealings. If you see it, Jexxa's comment actually got on the article, and he says, "While I feel for anyone with mental health issues, this is just a cop-out. You know very well what you are doing to your trusting followers and their funds." Second last paragraph, straight back to shilling, things never change. So
Whoa,
done,
sick.
Jexxa.
Thanks for that one.
That's like you and
I didn't see that.
having a banana nap, isn't it?
You know what's even better?
38%. Hex.
So that
sleeping.
a very small change that someone done another article on news.com.au, so that made it onto the mainstream media news site as well, that one.
Oh, nice. Well done, Jex. That's awesome. You're the orcs.
So that was a bit of a throwaway tweet, but I wasn't expecting it to do that.
That was really cool.
Hey,
That's so awesome.
Hey, 43. Can you just show my? I've got another kind of like hexagon of the week that I'd just like to put up. Can you just share my screen?
Do you want to announce it, Bluey? Because it's
Did you say news.com or news.com.au, Jexxa?
So this is the Maxi contract, and as you can see, the largest holder. Look at how much hex they put in, or how much Maxi they have.
555369.
Yeah.
There you go.
What a legend! What a legend!
That is the so that is the biggest contributor.
Yeah.
That's
What's
awesome.
that? That's a couple of mil, hey?
Very nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. So tell me, what's uNrekt? What are you doing uNrekt?
I think it's birds.
Hey, 43.
I'm trying to listen to you and not talk over you.
43. Can we show Dingo Wolf's picture that he did of our show? That he put on Twitter?
Yeah. Has someone got Twitter that they can bring up?
He's a tweeting bird.
Yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it right now. I'll
I
grab it.
sent it to you.
Hey, yeah, look at that, Western Australia. There you go. They're on the annual migration, ladies and gentlemen. Like, what's that? What's the name of that thing? Birds don't exist.
Oh yeah, birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real. There's a proper like they just tack on their little jump onto the protest and say birds don't exist. So this is the crazy world that we live in.
Can you get it?
What sorry, what tweet is it?
It's Dingo Wolf. He's one of our regular followers. He made a picture of us, Tangent.
Okay, getting it.
Do you want me to send it to your Twitter?
Can I also throw out an honourable mention that the Hex car got into the NASCAR game?
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw that in the computer
That is awesome.
game.
That's awesome. Yeah. Every day's a good day for the Hex
What did
staker.
you got into a computer game?
Get some Hex stakes.
Yeah.
Get your stakes in. The
Well
Aussie Hex
done.
Late Show. Wow. Where'd that come from? Oh, Dingo Wolf.
Well done,
Oh,
Dingo Wolf.
Dingo Wolf.
Very nice, mate.
yeah,
Honourable mention.
That's the way.
Yeah, we've
Get
got
it
a lot
out
of
there.
Hexagon legends
Ooh,
this week. We've got
underground.
Dingo
Yeah.
Wolf. We've got the
Like it.
555369
Grassroots.
Maxi contributor. And then we've got to give out a shout out to Dipcatcher as well for even doing that contract. Yeah, good stuff. A lot of Hexagon legends, eh? A lot of them.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love them.
That-
Love it.
Yeah, that is
So
legendary.
guys.
Good on you, mate. That's I appreciated that.
I'm going to
and
love it.
Wonderful. Yep.
All right. See you later, Sammy.
See you, Sammy.
Sammy, see everyone. See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.
So, uNrekt, you were trying to do something that, like, in the last 5 minutes. What were you trying to do, mate? You were trying to do something. And
What do you mean? No, I was just like talking about. Well, I was listening to you guys, and I was trying to send a picture of something. What was it? I don't know. Oh yeah. So yeah, no, I've already said what I had to say. I think you guys can talk about, like, when is PulseChain coming out? You said, I saw a tweet from you, day 43, that said
imminent. Absolutely. Hang on.
Oh, I think your
so
mic.
yeah,
is
like I
mute.
was obviously on the testnet, and I've been looking at Pulse. It says PulseChain mainnet now, but like, and is it going to be a soft launch, or is they going to make an announcement? Are they going to give us time, or is it just going to go?
I think we're going to have a version 3 uNrekt. Okay. We'll have a version 3, and then
so another 4 weeks.
When it's version 3, I think we are not, like, I think we are so close. I think we're a couple of weeks away.
Yeah.
I think we're
it'd be nice to have some Pulse and some PulseX in your little wallet there, wouldn't it? Your little MetaMask savings account where you be your own bank. It's wonderful, isn't it?
It's a good time to dollar.
It's a mad
I
GAINZ
think it's a good time to dollar cost average. It's a good time to dollar cost average into HEX, I reckon.
Yep.
Not financial advice, by the way. I'm not.
Bro, don't do financial advice. Yeah.
Don't do financial advice.
It's not even allowed, is it?
I do.
You do financial advice. Bro, I don't do financial advice. I'm poor. Shh. So.
Live your best life. Choose happiness. That's it.
Yeah, I've been recommending DCA to my friends. It just makes it easier.
DCA. Yeah.
It just makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
It's funny.
Most people just want to jump in first, though, don't they?
Yeah, people find it hard to buy now because it's like the old meme where someone's poking it with a stick, going do something, and it's not until it really starts to rocket that's when people get all excited and start loading the boat. So yeah, it's human psychology, isn't it?
Yeah.
So even Ice Cube reckons he was shadow banned on Twitter.
It's not a proper axe. It's not a proper tomahawk. Oh.
Thank you.
It's a pretend one in the rainbow unicorn world, where the unicorn has to go across a rainbow to cross the road. What's the motorboat? Is it must be a motorboat going underneath the rainbow then?
No, this is like it's discrimination because of the bloody, like the zebras. Zebras get the right of way.
The zebras get the right of way there, do they? Okay, gotcha. Now I'm with you. Yeah.
What are we doing?
I don't know. I'm going to have to mute this uNrekt. I'm going to have to mute that. Someone talking from the other room just doesn't work on live stream, unfortunately. April's welcome to come and talk into the microphone.
Come and sit down.
No.
I'll put a seat here just in case.
All right. Okay.
She's asked more intelligent questions than uNrekt in 2 years, I think.
Oh, man.
I knew it was going to be an interesting show.
We have what a clown show we got to.
All right. Trying to think what else we got on the boil.
I wanted to ask Tangent. Like, I'm not sure if something that you want to talk about, but have you what's your experience with the Lightning Network? I know some people in the chat are going to hate that we're talking about BTC, but Lightning Network, mate, any good?
Bro, I got cutted at first because I thought it dogged me. I thought it absolutely dogged me because so what happened was I'll try and keep this really quick. Basically, while I was waiting for like on-chain Bitcoin to arrive at my Lightning node, I decided to add the peer that I was going to be opening a channel with to pay for something that I was buying. And it just opened a channel to that peer, but I thought that it had paid an on-chain payment to the supplier, to the merchant, because I got an email from the merchant saying that it had already been paid. And I was like, well, it can't have gone over Lightning because the channel's not even open yet. So it was just an F up that the way that their shit works is they send a receipt saying, yep, cool, your shit's being shipped to you now, before they've actually received the payment. I'm not sure. It's BTC Pay Server must have some weird shit. So I assumed that the Ride the Lightning wallet had gone and sent an on-chain payment paying for it, because that was the only explanation I had for how it could be paid before I've even opened any channels or anything.
Yeah.
And then I was pissed because the thing that I had bought was being sent to my house. So I was like, that's just doxed my entire Lightning node, which is like run over Tor, because obviously now that node can be linked to my identity through that merchant, or so I thought. Yeah. And then later I worked out what had happened. So it's all good. It's all good. And now my node's running fine. I've got three. So
it's just BTC Pay Server who suck, sending out emails saying that you've paid when you actually haven't.
Yes. Yeah. That was what caused my drama. And now I've got three channels open. They're all balanced well, and I'm just waiting to see if like my node ends up getting used by other randoms.
Yep.
Oh, and there's talk of if Twitter was to introduce like a small Lightning payment just to prove identity, so that then you cut spam effectively. You know how the whole idea of proof of work was originally intended to stop email spam, because you're effectively creating rather than it just being free to send unlimited email by associating a small cost, it means it's insignificant, that cost for regular users. But if you're spamming, then it's going to cost you a fortune. And so that same concept can be applied to Twitter, and they can use the Lightning network since they've already got BTC tipping, and basically just have like a small Lightning payment. It's instant, it's practically free, and just to prove that you're not a bot. But I mean, theoretically, he could do it with Doge. He could do it with Hex. He could do it with. Richard tweeted suggesting that he should do it with PulseChain. It doesn't need to be the Lightning network, but I mean, since they've already got Bitcoin integration.
Yes, Miss April, do you have a question?
I do have a question. Why is there not like a one, you know how there's like a one form when you apply for houses? Why is there not like a one form ID that you can use with all these different platforms that is integrated like with some kind of like top security, so that you don't have to worry about all of this other stuff?
Because this is the Wild West. We are early days. This is the Wild West right now.
And also that would be a fucking.
I was still working with encryption like on the dark net,
But also that would be a fucking honeypot. Like
wouldn't
that would be literally
like one form, the real estate form. Why can't we do something? Why isn't there something like that that's showing our digital?
But people don't want a KYC. Like people don't want to give up.
If you do or if you don't, it's your choice. It should at least be something that's out there.
There's plenty of people trying to solve that problem.
Sell the dream.
We're still like cypherpunks, so like we're still.
Do you want to give your information to people, to companies? There's plenty of companies who will accept it.
I'm not like really all that special. So if they want to try and take it, like go for it. But just try. I'm happy.
Also, look, it's not a terrible idea.
Good too.
I beg your pardon. Sorry.
It's not a bad idea, but the thing is, right? Like it's an adoption thing. So you would need to get it to a point where everyone knows that is the gold standard for identity checking.
So it'd have to have an algorithm.
Both all the platforms that require identity and all the users would all have to hop onto that one thing for it to become. So look at PayPal, right? Like that. That has been broadly accepted. You would need that level of adoption.
It's not really all that great, really.
And so while there are competing companies trying to solve these issues, then basically it becomes just a shit show because, so
the biggest problem is, so April, who would you trust with your information?
Who would I trust with my information? You'd be really surprised. I don't trust a lot of people, even with my, I'm from Tasmania,
So everyone listening out there in Tasmania,
try and find me.
We love the Tasmania.
But I have to say I am disappointed with Elon Musk because he is meant to be getting that satellite internet going from north to south, and we need some fucking reception, in certain places, and it's just not.
So that's still the biggest problem is if you want to do digital identity, you've still got to trust someone to verify it all.
So when I first ever came across doing like any kind of online stuff to do with security, I went looking for where do I find a PGP? Where's the P? I need to find me one of them. Have you got one? I don't have a PGP. I thought it was an actual thing. Pretty good privacy, and we can all see it, and it's good, But I guess it's about reviews at the end of the day, isn't it? I guess it's about talking to each other and saying, "Hey, this is how I'm doing it, and it's fucking working."
Yeah. Play the guitar like ringing a bell, isn't it? Like that.
Time.
Oh yeah.
That reminds me of
play out time.
Like, say hi to Alex for us in Tasmania.
Crop in the field
so the thing you're talking about, lightning. So I probably missed a little bit of that conversation, but that was I seen a tweet where someone was saying there was some atomic swaps or something integrated into Pulse. Did you guys come across that? Was that related to lightning?
I did see that. That sounded crazy good. That someone was going to basically do like wrapped Bitcoin on Pulse through the Lightning network or some shit. Like, it was like Lightning Bitcoin on PulseChain that someone was working on.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called.
But the tweet actually had the GUI as well. Like it wasn't just an idea. Yeah. They were actually built it out.
Yep. Yeah. So
I was pretty impressed.
I thought that's where you were going with that one, day 43, because I did see that a tweet come out about that. I don't know enough about it to know what was going on. You're muted there, mate.
Sorry, I tuned out, mate. Okay. I tuned out. What'd you say?
Pulse. So someone's just put it in chat.
One more.
Oh no, just someone's
Pulse Lightning Network.
Pulse Lightning Network. No.
Sounds like a good time.
Loves a good time. I approve.
Pulse Lightning Network. So that's a thing apparently.
Did you guys also see that Richard suggested to Elon that you could start charging small amounts for the PulseChain and as a way to Twitter more sensitive, resistant to bots, or make Twitter resistant to bots.
So like paper advertising.
It's all paper click.
So that GUI that you're seeing, Tangent, was just a screenshot. It wasn't a working thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the domain, is it?
Yeah. I don't know whether it's good, bad, or otherwise.
Yeah, I won't post it, but
won't post it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was something interesting I seen where they were talking about going straight from Bitcoin into Pulse.
A good pulse is always good.
That's the part. Their pulses is like that's like a good. Or not exactly good meaning what pulse is about.
A little bit further back, someone put in chat, and I wanted to circle back on it. There was a comment from Richard about he's found a way to transfer value or money.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple of, I think last.
What about this one? Shares become more valuable and scarce.
Hang on, let's just type this thread first. Jexxa's. Yeah, he mentioned this in a thing, and he was waiting for like the regulators to basically do their thing. Do their thing, and then once they do their thing, then he'll be able to release the information on this. And we picked up on that as well. Yeah.
So this was to circumvent the unhosted wallets scenario.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that whole thing is sort of. I don't see how they can enforce. Like, how you can't enforce. How do you enforce that? How do you enforce that? Like
you
in
can't.
reality, how do you
How do you stop someone knowing something? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like you're. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like it's something that's doesn't seem like it's possible. Like it, they can't. Do you know what's interesting, Jexxa? I was actually reading just the proposals in the. There was like a report put out last year in Australia, like an overhaul. Remember that? I think it was Andrew Bragg. Was it Andrew Bragg? Is it that guy?
Don't know specifically. No.
He put there was a report. He got a committee together and they did a report on the changes that need to happen in Australia in the crypto industry. Let me see if I can find that actually.
Is that the guy from ASIC or?
No, I think he's a senator.
Okay.
Or he's a. Let me see if I can find that. You guys have a chat. I'll see if I can get that up because that was interesting.
After this,
as you do, I'm just going to chuck up. I don't know if you heard me before, but like Richard Hart actually put a tweet out to Elon saying that a way to solve bots on Twitter would be to have people charged to reply to tweets, and you could use PulseChain.
Yeah, they tried that with. They were trying to do that with email at the beginning, where you could put a cost on receiving an email in your inbox. So if you wanted to to send an email to Elon, it would guaranteed get there if you paid X amount for it to get there.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a while ago.
I think that breaks. I don't know. I don't know. I guess you pay for a letter.
Come on, it's an old been around.
If you make it a micro payment, then maybe it could work.
Or like a Google token payment, so you do a few reviews and then you can email Elon.
Sucking on my bell cow.
I don't know what. Like,
More cowbell, more cowbell. Come on, more cowbell.
I'm confused right now. I'm confused.
I feel like I've been eating mushies or something. I don't know. I can see unicorns and all sorts of
background.
Shit.
Yeah,
I've got my own coins coming out, and you can all buy them. And I'll make bags of cash. I'll get rich. I'll just like shill them and dump them.
We got heaps at the arcade the other day. It was a good time. It was a great time.
Pirate chain, mate. Come on.
Arr.
Arr, arr. I'll be like
Pirate Chain actually already exists. You know, Pirate Chain already.
I'll be like growing. I'll be laid down there, just loving it. Breakfast. I'll be like better milk, whatever you want to call it. I'll be like smashing the prom queen while you're all looking in the mirror, and that's what HEX does. Look at the chart. Where it show me on the chart where it hurt you? Hey, HEX is just like smashing the prom queen one after the other, all the way. And it's like I can't win any harder, really. Would you agree? Or am I like?
I don't know what I'm agreeing to at this point.
I agree.
I don't know, man.
I agree.
I don't know.
I agree.
I don't agree. I fucking don't agree, uNrekt.
Mr. Mile High Club over here, he's got one up.
You don't think 43? You don't think that HEX has smashed prom queens?
No, I'm just being like disagreeable in general with uNrekt. For fucking not muting himself while he's having private conversations while we're on a fucking live stream.
Hey, things get a bit loose, mate, and it's hectic sometimes. You know, life is what it is. It's real life here, mate. It's like not come on interwebs all the time, eh? Once a week, that's it. I don't watch all the Twitters and whatnots. I'll go on there, maybe just count some money, and then I'll turn it off.
It's not a Smith machine, day 43. You can't just re-rack life.
My fucking bad, hey.
I stole that line from
all those other live streamers who tend to be able to just, not fucking talk in the background. Not us, hey?
Right. I do apologise to
We
the
need
audience. We do that, and I'm the worst at it, and I'm really, really sorry that it wrecks everything. But I had to sit through this bloke with a squeaky chair for like an hour and a half or 2 hours one day, and it was like, and that's what you get.
Well, I'm glad you can admit you're wrong, uNrekt. And
Yes.
for fuck's sake,
Well,
take
I am
my
wrong
name
all
off
the time.
screen.
Everyone don't
I
listen
don't
to
want
me.
anyone, bro. I don't want
listen to
anyone
some joke on
thinking
the
that,
interwebs.
that
Go
you
do
and
your
me.
own research. Find out about HEX on
I'm going to
hex.com
rename
and
you.
hexnoob.com. It's like, read all about it. It's coming. It's not going away. This cryptocurrency is not going away. You're better off having like a little bit of skin in the game. Anyone out there, please help. Do yourself a favour. Listen to it. And we're streaming all across the world to try and get the word out about how good HEX is. We've seen it with I've seen it with my own eyes. I know it, and I know you guys know it too. And anyone else out there who's witnessed it will tell you the same thing. It's the best crypto, bar none. Everything else, that's how I feel. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like all the other coins, but if you don't know what you're talking about, if you go through the top 20 coins, I could talk about each and every one of those, and I could probably, and if I didn't know everything, then I could find out. And so otherwise I wouldn't say anything. Anyway, thank you. That's all.
Yeah, the number of hexagons out there just spreading the word is madness.
The HEX community is second to none. That's why we do this. I love the chat and I love
like
the community.
this comment.
That's the reason why we do this.
Yeah.
What does it say?
Oh, by the way, Tangent, I saw you on the 420 what's his
stream? Steak and Bake?
Freddie Quotes.
Freddie
His name slipped my mind. Yeah, I saw you on the channel. You were like pretty ripped on that. I was watching. Like, you never show up to a stream ripped like that here. Like,
I can explain why. No. I don't blaze before these streams. Really much. Maybe like sometimes like a little bit of vape during, but hardly. But that stream, because it was special 420 episode, normally I'll rip a cone on stream at the start with everyone to be a team player, and then I'll just vape throughout the rest of the episode. But on this one, we just had mad peer pressure going to just keep punching cones. And so I was well out of my comfort zone in terms of how blazed I was. I was absolutely
it was hilarious.
destroyed. I was destroyed.
It was a great stream.
Thanks, man.
Had it on in the background, and it was a fantastic stream. And you guys you're all wrecked.
Yeah,
everyone was wrecked. You were the most wrecked, though. You were the most.
Yeah. I don't normally.
And not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
I don't normally punch multiple cones in a row like that. That's hectic for me. We just kept doing it, and then I ended up passing out
making
before.
Sense talking.
Nerd Girl was coming on as a special guest, and I didn't make it. Like, as in, I passed out. I passed out before she got there. Yo, I just turned my YouTube channel back on, and it has deleted all my subscribers.
Whoa! Oh, no
so all the videos are still there, but they're set to private. So like the videos are there hidden, but subscriber count is literally 0.
Whoa.
No way. I'm going to subscribe to you right now.
That is devastating, because on the thing when I paused it, it specifically said that the only shit that disappears is your comments on other people's videos and your replies to people's comments on your own videos. Like,
so you
actually that's all it said. That's because I just paused it. I paused the channel.
Hang
I
on.
didn't delete
Are all your videos private?
Yeah, all the videos have been set to private, so they're still there. I can see them.
Hang on. Why don't you turn one video off private and make it public?
Oh, what? And then see if that somehow fixes it.
Because I just searched you and I can't even find you.
Yeah, I can't find you either, mate.
So if you turn one public, and then maybe we can find you, and maybe your subscribers.
Oh, and you know what? Maybe it'll just take time for it to work it out. Like, maybe I just need to give it, because I only literally just turned it on. I'll give you a link.
Have a crack at it, because while we're on stream here, you might be able to quickly get back 150.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Get you back up and running again.
So I turned on my video called Speed Charts.
I'm sure everyone in chat would help you out a little bit and give you a bit of a boost.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that a lot of people that were subscribed to my channel probably do also watch this channel.
Yeah. You know, you're literally off the radar at the moment. So
crazy.
So you obviously explained why you done that to everyone.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, that's right. You weren't on that stream. It was just because they brought in those new laws in Australia, how they can just $1 million fine or 5 years imprisonment if they deem that you've been handing out financial advice without a financial license. So I was just like, F that noise.
Yeah. And I guess it was, we quickly cleared it up though, that it doesn't apply to crypto because crypto is not regulated by any one government institution.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, but they're a long way from doing that, I would feel. Well, they can't
It's
even.
a long way.
Yeah,
but also the scary thing is that they can bring in laws. They can bring in laws retrospectively, man. Like they can be like, look, we've decided this is illegal, and we're prosecuting people who have done it before we even made it a law. That exists, dude. That happens.
That's
yes,
very,
they absolutely do that.
There are retrospective laws happen very rarely.
When is that happen?
They're usually tax laws. Usually they're tax laws.
The way they could do it is they could just go. No, we're not even doing retroactive laws here. We're just saying we're deeming that you broke the existing laws. Like we're just going to apply it to crypto. So do you get what I'm saying? Like they could just
they couldn't do it. You can't change a law and then like if something's not a law. But what I'm saying is but there's always vagueness within the laws, man, that they can just be like, you know what, under our interpretation of the law, you were breaking the law.
Now you're letting the fear of the law. You're letting the fear. You're letting the fear of the law control your behavior. So it's not.
But you guys are doing something that's worse. You guys are assuming that you can apply logic to how they run this shit. You cannot. Like
that's like saying, we've now made it illegal.
You can't live your life in fear of every possible thing that could happen.
I was about to speak to myself, but tangent.
It's not living my life in fear. It's the way I saw it was my channel makes $0. So in terms of risk reward, why would I even expose myself to that risk at all? It's not because I'm scared. It's because the reward is not proportional to the risk that I was taking.
Tangent. I just think that there are so many things out there that you could apply this logic to in any country, right?
And that's why injustices happen all the time.
Yeah. So, but you could apply. I think you've got more chance of something like this happening while you drive your car down the street. Or when you're walking down the street, then this sort of thing happening on a channel, like especially on a channel that's not like we don't.
That's fine. But in a risk assessment, you have to assess consequence and probability. And so what you're saying is that the probability here is low, but when the consequence is $1 million fine or 5 years in jail, that consequence is so fucking high that the risk gets assessed as high. It doesn't matter how low the probability is.
Do you know what the thing is with us? We none of us do this for money. Like we come on stream, we talk about stuff. We talk about stuff that we do. We talk about things that are happening in the space. None of us are getting paid. Like none of us make money from it. So I think like ultimately, because we're not benefiting from it, you can't really say you could never make the argument. In my opinion, you could never really make the argument that it's like financial advice.
All of those things would definitely help your case. But do you want to end up in a courtroom having to make this argument? Like that's the question, right? Like
I just don't. I don't think the chances of us ending up in a. I mean,
I agree.
Yeah, but do you want to be able to freely?
You guys have been.
You want to be.
I agree with everything that you guys have been saying, but you're missing the point of
Third floor Fight Club. We don't talk about Fight Club.
And that's why I paused it and didn't delete it, was because I wanted, when the dust settled and I could get actual proper information about what the actual risks were, then I would be able to turn it back on if I thought that was a reasonable position.
Tangent, I got one for you. We'll do risk management. We'll do risk management 101. So, would you
I can do one.
Yeah. Okay. So, like, would you like pretend? Would you like act like you was like, just say you were like pretending to be like of the homosexual persuasion, just so that you could like get some pussy? Would you do that?
No, but that wouldn't be from a risk management perspective. That would just be from an ethics perspective, because I wouldn't want to deceive anyone.
Ethics, people, very important. Values, morals, and ethics.
So I wouldn't want the situation.
Hang on, how does pretending to be a homosexual get you a woman? What's the logic? What's the logic there?
Oh no, that definitely does happen.
Yes, it does.
Like, as in,
okay.
Oh, like you, like, you know, like if the girl thinks
guys pretending to be gay,
and then the other girl thinks another girl is like, "Hello, come and play."
Yeah, the theory. So the theory is simply that basically a chick would not have her guard as high if she assumed that you're gay. So they're going to have their guard down, and you can actually get to know, like, get to know them better without them being like highly defensive in that scenario.
I think it's very cunning, and I applaud anyone who does that.
And then what? You just sneakily slip it in. Like, what happens then?
Like you're in the girl, so you want the girl.
That all works.
And that's like, sucking on my titties, sucking on my balls.
No.
So you say, hey, we can just sleep in the same bed together, and nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, terrible.
Every hell of a go, mate. Don't worry about that.
Is that how that plan works?
$20. Love yous all. Come on. Another one bites the dust. Come on, this is wonderful. Look,
let's get
we're having a good time. It's what's that? We're doing the Rainbow Unicorn Collective. Choose happiness, especially if you're hexing in your stake. You like doing T-share payout plus the summon hex. You're loving it, because I mean, well, after like this long going sort of like sideways, we must be due for a little bit of a pump. Where's bitch tits? Where's bitch tits when you need us to tell us the price? Well, only thing that matters.
Oh yeah, we've finally got Jexxa back.
The only thing that matters in crypto.
You haven't run it for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, we didn't do it without you.
So there's going to be no votes at all, is there?
Oh, we did it the
Oh
week before.
shit! Good point.
No, there's going to be no votes.
Oh, there's not going to be any votes.
No votes.
You're right.
Let's see if anyone has gotten to the routine and actually went and voted.
I would be impressed.
Hang on. I've got to check first. Give me a second.
No, bitch tits. Yeah, no, it's still going.
Oh. No one's. Oh, actually, people have voted. Three people voted. Three people voted.
Yes.
That's wild.
Hang on. I want to know. They all win. Every single one of them win this week. Who are they?
This is actually going to be pretty funny as well.
I want to know.
Hang on. Have a look. I'm just going to.
So the price at the moment is like 12.6 cents.
Yeah. Hang on. Bear with me.
That's wild.
Okay. So 12.6 cents. Oh, okay. 12. I might need a little bit of mass help here. It's very close. Okay, so I was hoping Dozza was going to get it, but he's been pipped, it seems. So we'll call the price at, what's that, 12.6.
Sammy Chica wins.
So she takes it by a nose here.
Yep, she takes it. But you know what? I make the argument that all of them win.
I think,
because
I agree.
Because we didn't have any, we didn't like put it out there to go vote. We didn't even put we didn't put the URL out, you know, titbit.ch.
Well, you know what I like?
These people just went and voted.
I
True
think
believers.
Dozer and Ash, they've been the two that have probably won it the most. These guys are really, they want the title.
Yeah,
they're committed. There's a battle going on for the title. It's good to see.
Yeah. Well done, guys. Well, you guys all win this week. All of you.
All right, so we'll get back on track now. We'll link out there, and everyone can actually vote again.
Chill this. Chill. Oh, come on, get it. There we go.
I'm in disguise now.
Okay, can someone that's got admin post that in chat?
Oh, you know, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. That's better. Don't put me on the
it's harder than it looks to know your left from right when you're looking at a video of yourself.
Very backwards forwards. My equilibrium was like, what the fuck?
You know when Nerd Girl used to do the thing where everyone would link hands, like doing this shit. That shit used to really highlight to people who hadn't been on stream themselves how difficult that shit really is, because everything's like the opposite of what you think it is.
I don't know they're in the cupboard.
In the cupboard.
The one on that wall in there.
Right. Okay. So, guys, what have we talked about? We've talked about Maximus. We've talked about PulseDoge. What do you guys reckon about that clone, that airdrop? What do you think? What do you feel about that coin, like taking the name of the other coin, like the coin that was already there, PulseDoge, already existed?
Oh, really? Did they take the same name?
Yeah. So there's two PulseDoges out there.
That's not cool. No, that's not cool.
You can't
do that shit.
Coin.
It's done.
Like, I mean, look. In crypto, you can do whatever you want, right? Like, I could make a coin and call it Bitcoin. Like, there's no one at Bitcoin to sue me. Like, there is no CEO. In fact, apart from me,
that's been tried at least 3 times already, hasn't it?
Assume that I wasn't the CEO of Bitcoin, and then same scenario. There's no one to sue, right? So so they legally they can do it, but ethically that's pretty shit.
Well, they didn't. The original one didn't have the domain pulsedoge.com. So the new one got the domain, right?
Oh, that's gonna be confusing as shit.
Yeah, but the new one has got the airdrop, and the old one doesn't have an airdrop. So there's probably more hexagon holders of the. Well, there will be more hexagon holders of the new one.
Do you know what these dumbasses don't realize? That typically when you cross chain, you don't rename it after the chain. Like, you don't have like AVAX Doge. You don't have like Matic Doge. It's just fucking Doge. Like, as in, you would just have that coin on that chain. So they could have come up with like.
I wouldn't touch that dog shit regardless of if it's dogged it. I'm not touching that because it's like the same as dog shit.
I reckon
you're not gonna claim it, uNrekt? You're not gonna claim the free airdrop worth real dollars?
Well, I've got like stakes that are on Staker that's on a mobile phone that are there. How do I get? I don't know how to get the Doge. I put the public address in somewhere, and where does the money go? Okay, maybe
so it's you have to go. You have to claim it, and it's based on how many T shares you have. There's like an amount of free coins that you get.
Plenty of T shares.
Yeah, so
you'll get a little bit of PulseDoge coin then, won't you?
Yeah, so there's an airdrop there, mate. There's an airdrop, and you don't necessarily need to, you don't need to keep it. You can sell it. Lots of people have sold it.
Can you guys think of a single other fucking example of any other project doing that shit? Like making their project like BSC Shiba. Like, it doesn't exist. Like, it's so dumb. Like, why is it being named after the chain? Like, and then for two projects, for one project to copy another project where their naming idea was already stupid. It's so dumb. Like, just pick a different name. I guess it's not too late to rebrand. Although, ouch! Actually, I'm shitting on Richard because he had Bitcoin Hex. Although that's not really, it wasn't really going to be on that chain though. But you notice how Richard got rid of Bitcoin out of the Bitcoin Hex name and made it just Hex. Like, just
So someone's put in there. Hexagon One said, "I think the old Pulse Doge was not legit, and the new one is kind of doing something legit with the name."
The old one, they put in a shitload of effort making like those stupid little cartoon images and shit.
Yeah, that's right. They ran a meme coin like you should run a meme coin. Like it was all about.
Yeah. Like, I mean that genuinely. Like that I could see they were demonstrating effort. Like, as in they weren't just doing like a cash grab, like just create the coin and then fuck off with everyone's money.
I think at this point in time, you can't shit on any project calling it hasn't got use or whatever, because if this cycle has taught you nothing else, is that meme coins can get up and they've probably outperformed most of the market. So I don't think you can say that they're not.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with them being a meme coin. I just think the name is dumb.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's. Do I think?
And I definitely think that regardless of how dumb the name is, copying the name off another project that already exists is not cool. That's
creates confusion.
At
worst, it creates confusion.
Plagiarism.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's copyright.
Dude, there's so many names you could have. There's so many names you could have. You could have so many dog names.
And it ends up being a headache even for them, because they're going to get people contacting them being like, hey, I bought your fucking coin and I didn't get it. And they're going to be like, oh, that's the wrong. So now they're basically going to have like a user support headache themselves because of the confusion that they have created. It's just dumb on so many levels. It's so dumb.
I still have a question. Can I just ask, do coins do exit scams like they do in the markets on the darknet? Yeah, right. So like they just do like a runaway exit scam, like fucking.
Absolutely.
Oh shit!
Wait. We're the kings, like, as in when I say we're the kings, like crypto is the kingdom of those.
You know, I had to admit, when I first looked into Hex and stuff, I thought it was one of those things. Like, I've been part of Avon. I was part of Avon. Like, I was pretty busy amongst Avon, management wise. So like for Tassie and
multi-level marketing.
Yeah. So I thought that's what this was. I thought it was like selling the idea of financial freedom, you know, like, and you know, some of it is, if you want to build up pace on it, really it is like selling the idea of financial freedom through, you know, one kind of interface, isn't it?
The way that many hexagons promote Hex.
I don't know if I trust this guy now.
No, he's fine.
No, I'm joking. I'm just joking.
Like,
you can send me as much text as you want.
He's on it.
Hex is not a scam, but like the way that many hexagons promote Hex is does come across as very similar. Yeah. Similar enthusiasm and similar. You'll hear similar language. So people will be like, this is going to give you financial freedom. This is going to allow you to quit your day job. This is language is very similar to these things that you will have heard from MLMs in the past, which makes it very difficult for people who have been scammed by that shit in the past to you know,
have PGP.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hexagon One keeps putting in some good questions, so I'll keep referring.
Yeah. Let's answer some chat. Yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So I don't.
It's more of a comment.
It's a comment, but I think everyone's got their time horizon set way too short on Hedron, and I think everyone's looking at it going, "Oh, it's dumped." But nearly every project that launches has a big run up and has a massive pullback. I think it's way too early to be saying it's hasn't achieved what it's was trying to achieve.
Also, the gas fees are not really the fault of the project, and in terms of the timing of their launch. That's just unfortunate.
Well, actually, when it launched, Hedron, the fees were actually really cheap.
Yeah, I was about to say that mine weren't that bad.
Yeah, no, it was like 16 grey or something. That was the best you were going to get.
I think
Just if
Hedron's
you're a small, like, if you had this, like a quite.
Oh yeah, obviously it depends on the size of your. It depends on that size of that how many T-shares.
Size doesn't matter.
It does in Hedron.
Well, I'm not so sure.
Let's have Bluey. Bluey, sorry.
Bloobum.
Bluey,
that comment implies that we've been not letting you talk enough.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Stage is yours, mate.
I think Hedron's far exceeded what we thought before launch. Like people were thinking like 5 to 10% of stakers would claim or mint. It's been like by far the majority of HEX stakes have claimed or minted. Like it's up into the 2/3 or even higher, I think. There was that price run up. That was really surprising to me when it did a quick 10x, and then it's dropped down from there. But to me, we were always thinking that this is going to be dumped a lot of this stuff.
Where is it now? Where's Hedron at right now?
It's had a little pump yesterday.
Oh, did it?
It came off its bottom, yeah. So it got down to like I can't remember the prices and everything. But like we were thinking it was going to take a long, long time to shake out all of that free Hedron that was given to HEX stakers, and that this is going to play out over years. So I think it's like by far and exceeded what expectations we had at the start, and it's going along perfectly at the moment.
So with airdrops, you always go through a massive redistribution at the beginning, because most people, they don't value something they're being given for free, so they insta dump it. And I mean, I bet a vast majority of hexagons that got Uniswap dumped it straight away, and it goes to people that value it. And that's exactly what's happened with Hedron, as it's moved hands. So there was a lot of larger wallets with big hex stakes that don't value it. It's been redistributed to the people that do. But let it play out over time.
It's 5 zeros, 1347. 5 zeros and 1347. So I remember the high was about 5 zeros, 7, I think.
Yeah,
By the way, Emma Tarrant is not the HEX Late Show Oracle of the Week, and we haven't done an Oracle of the Week for fucking 3 months. So
I can do an oracle. I do a stoic oracle.
I don't know why that's
what?
there.
Is she talking about the price guessing game?
Yeah.
HEX. No, that wasn't a comment. That was shenanigans in the back.
The oracle, the all-important oracle, which is like the bridge from PulseChain to Ethereum, isn't it? You need an oracle. An oracle doesn't have a private key. Doesn't have an admin key or something.
This is the Pulse price.
I don't think that's what she's talking about, though. I don't think she's talking about bridges. I think she's talking about the price guessing. I'm not sure, though.
No, that was a comment. That was a comment that we put in the back. Like that's, you know how you can in Restream you can type the comment.
Yeah, I was
yourself?
just pressing buttons. I was like, I can press any button I like. See, Hedron, Telegram, which is a good chat.
So Richard Hart hooked me up actually with Hedron. At the time, I didn't realize how much of a good hookup it was going to be. But you know how he talks about when things fall out of their parabolas. When I saw Hedron fall out of that parabolic growth, I dumped an entire one stake that had just recently ended. I just took that one stake and just sold that Hedron, which was only small compared to the rest of the bag, but that is now, that would have dropped into to a quarter of its value. Like that shit that I sold. I sold it for 4 times what it would be worth now if I'd held it all the way down. Yep. So, thanks, Richard.
Thank you, Richard Hart.
And what did you sell that into? And what on?
Oh, just into stables.
Really?
I just put it into stable coins, and it's still stable. It's still there.
I can't bring myself to
Tanger's building up his war chest for all these scenarios that could go wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's got his gunpowder on the
He's
sidelines.
going into prepper mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'd need to make sure you've got enough stables to live off if the whole crypto market went to shit. You know.
Okay, so you've changed your tune a little bit, Tangent. From sorry, you go.
I want to know what Tangent's going to do with all those stables if tomorrow, or if, like Richard says, right in 2 weeks, the fork's happening. Are you going to be holding all of those stables over the fork?
So I'm trying to minimize the number of things that I need to do with urgency at the time of the fork. I want to position myself in a way that if I'm like out partying or asleep or some shit and Richard doesn't give us like a lot of notice, that my strategy doesn't get completely fucked. But I haven't
What's the
stopped
strategy?
being bullish.
So you will hold that stable over the fork?
Yeah, shit, yeah. Yeah, shit, yeah. So basically, what was I going to say? Oh, I, in my opinion, we are at an all-time high of bullish crypto fundamentals. I mean that broadly across the entire space. We've got, the SEC case against the coin that I won't mention. SEC are getting fucking crushed. We've got
Ripple,
ETFs. Yeah, I was deliberately not saying the name of the coin, but yeah, the XRP SEC case. SEC are getting absolutely steamrolled. We've got regulations are being developed that can only really be a positive in terms of like certainty and institutional money coming in. We've got ETFs getting approved everywhere. We've got nation states. So we've had a second nation state that has taken BTC as legal tender. We've got
African. What's that? Central
African. Like it's a very, very, very tiny country, but the size doesn't matter in my opinion. The fact that now that there's two countries, the dominoes are falling. Like to me, the population size, GDP, it doesn't really matter that much.
Just before you go on with your points, can we just have a quick chat about that? Because I think that's a really, really interesting development in
massive.
The crypto landscape. Because this is what I see could possibly happen. People who have bad.
You're muted, dude. You're muted.
People who have bags of crypto or like not just BTC, anything can just like flip it into BTC using bridges or whatever. There is an opportunity in those countries now to go and create businesses and do things because they are countries where I think the cost of employing people would be quite low, I would have thought. So it's advantageous to companies to be able to go there and get low cost type things. I see companies doing that. And being able to use BTC gives them a lot of flexibility that other companies in other countries don't have. Right. So I see that sort of thing happening and industries developing in these countries and it might take years for industry to develop in a country takes years, right? It does take years for infrastructure to be built, for things to happen. But I see that happening in these countries. And if that brings economic prosperity to these countries, I believe that there's going to be a snowball effect over time and other countries are going to jump on. This is an interesting thing. And there might be opportunities for people who have businesses to look to these countries as if your business model fits, if you're manufacturing or something, if it fits you might be able to go over there and create something and using BTC,
I think these countries that adopt Bitcoin early are going to be economically prosperous beyond what people can even imagine. Like I'm not talking about them becoming like financial superpowers, but in terms of like their economic rank within the global stage, it's just people will look back on this in the future and just be like, God damn, that was the smartest shit that any country could have ever done.
The accepting of it as a legal tender is different to how you treat people that hold it and use it. So if Australia came in and said we're going to accept it as legal tender, but they still have heavy-handed rules on how it's taxed and things like that, you're not going to get.
You can't do that once it's legal tender. Then it's currency, so then you can't tax it as a.
You can't capital gain.
You can't.
So if that is true and that's what they do, then that would be the point where it'll. And this is just Bitcoin at this point, so it doesn't refer to all crypto. True. So
that's right.
Bitcoin's legal tender, but if they don't have friendly rules for the rest of it.
Yes and no, though. Yes, and you know what I'm saying when I say that. Like yes and no. Once it's like having your foot in the door. If you've got some BTC in there, that's the foot in the door, and then if you've got bridges going from BTC to Ethereum, then that opens up just opens it up completely. You know.
But it really comes down to adoption. Like the legal tender, like a country making it like official legal, or like legal tender or a currency. I mean, it doesn't mean anything if people don't adopt it.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
If you bring in businesses and jobs, and that like creates prosperity for that country, it brings money into.
That's my point. There's no adoption.
If something's legal,
you need to have businesses who see the opportunity.
If something's legal tender,
that can happen.
Sorry, if something's legal tender, my understanding is you have to accept it. So if you run a business and someone walks in and says, "I want to pay," and then they go, "No, I'm not taking it." You go, "What? This is legal tender, mate. You've got to accept it."
Yes.
You would think so, hey?
In Miami, when I was in Miami, I walked into a cafe in Miami, and I wanted to pay with cash. And they wouldn't accept it.
Yeah, but they're technically breaking the law, Bloobum. Like, as in,
is that legal? And they said
that's not legal.
Yes.
That's not legal.
Well,
if that's not legal for them to do it, but people still do it. Like, it still happens globally.
I'm just thinking in some of these countries, like in El Salvador.
I'll give you a really good example. Is
if you go up to
Britain,
like a shop in El Salvador, and you say, "I want to pay with Bitcoin," and they say, "We don't have it here." Even though they've like rolled out all of these wallets and blah blah blah, but then I've heard other people, like, not everyone has them. You can't. It's not as if you can go anywhere and pay with Bitcoin.
But Bluey, we're talking about two different things, though. You're talking about the average person using it, which I think is less important than businesses coming in because of the opportunity that like being able to use Bitcoin presents, and that is what creates prosperity. Is that those companies coming in and bringing in that money and that work?
Dude, there's an example in what happened that just blows all of this shit out of the water. El Salvador was able to say to the IMF, "Go fuck yourself. We don't need your money," because they basically crowdfund Bitcoiners funded their shit. Like, that's how. So the crypto ecosystem is becoming so wealthy that they can basically fund nation states so that they don't have to like beg and plead to like International Monetary Fund and shit like that. That's massive. They told them to get fucked. They told them to get fucked. They were like, if you guys...
We haven't seen countries doing international trade with Bitcoin. If that ever happens, that would be massive.
I think Russia talked about it.
I think
they just talked about banning it too.
No, what's happening no, they're not banning it. But what's happening at the moment is you're seeing like different baskets of currencies being used around the world. And people are trying to still use their country's fiat currencies to trade. Like renminbi.
Yeah, that'll be another big milestone.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
So it's like I think it's actually going the opposite way from everyone heading towards Bitcoin as the payments rail. It's heading towards all baskets of currencies in terms of international trade.
No, I wouldn't say that. As in,
people aren't buying oil or energy.
I agree with your first point. I disagree with your second point. Like I agree with you that it'll be pretty massive when we see the first major international trade arrangement for any particular resource or asset or whatever between two countries being settled in Bitcoin. That will be massive. But the idea that we're not heading towards it being Bitcoin that's going to be that currency is like, I disagree. Like
that will be done in USDC before it's ever done in Bitcoin?
It'll be done in rubles and in renminbi and in like yen and in like different.
No, in terms of digital currency, it will be USDC before anything else.
Thing, like, like they're not going to use cryptocurrencies. They're just going to use their own digital currencies. That's what it's looking.
Hang on, I just want to jump in here, Blue. When you say they, who are you talking about? They
countries.
All right. So what I'm talking about is a business that moves into a country
I got your point before. And I think it's
so that business, no, but since it's the point is, since it's legal tender to use Bitcoin in that country, they can use Bitcoin and not worry about like exchange like issues. Do you know what I mean? Like they can work out, okay, what is Bitcoin? It's almost like Bitcoin is the gold standard now, because there will be a local currency, right? But that local currency there will be an exchange rate with Bitcoin. But people can just use the Bitcoin. So
yeah, I think it'd be great if that happens. Yeah.
So I think if that's where it goes, where Bitcoin is the standard by which everyone's like comparing their currency, rather than having all these independent floating currencies around the world, you've got this based like Bitcoin.
But I don't think that's happening yet. That's my point.
No, that's not happening. But I think where there's a path there that can happen now. You've got two countries that have adopted it. If that keeps happening, like if you've got more countries that come aboard, like.
Okay, so the question is, would they use Bitcoin as a settlement layer, or is it a store of value? If that's Bitcoin's selling point and narrative, what are they going to use it for? Are they treating it like a gold that they put in a vault, or is it used for settlement?
Well, they could do either or, I would have thought. I mean, there's no real reason why you have to stick with one.
That's the point.
What's that?
Sorry, Blue?
Well, they're not using it for settlement. Whether they will or not in the future, I think it's kind of doubtful, to be honest. But it's looking like, no, they want to keep their own fiat. Like they want to keep the control of their money. If they start
when you say but what their actions? I'm talking about the countries that are that bringing Bitcoin in, right? So when you say they, you're talking about like governments. I'm talking about like country, like what happens in the country economically has to do with like the businesses working in that country, right? And then like if the businesses are allowed to use Bitcoin, then they can use them. They can use Bitcoin, and then they can settle in whatever they want to. They can settle in Bitcoin or the local currency if they want, the local digital currency, whatever. It makes at that point it makes very little difference. But they're free to do it in Bitcoin.
They'd probably have to report in their country's fiat currency.
Okay. Okay. Well, what about this? Let's say the El Salvador. There's a company in El Salvador that's doing business with a company in this African country, right? They're in their country. They're getting payment in the local digital currency, but they can swap it over into Bitcoin very easily and pay for their goods being manufactured in the other country in Bitcoin to the other company. It just makes that international trade seamless, like very, very easy, very, very quick. You know, you can do that in minutes. Do you know how long it takes to pay a company overseas when you've got to do it through the banking system? You know, days, weeks.
All right. So we're heading into a territory which I'll say the coin that Tangent didn't want to mention. I've been making a conscious effort to take the blinders off and just reach into other communities and see what's going on. And there's a belief that once this case with the SEC is done, there's a lot of people in that community that think the Fed are going to buy out their bags.
No. I mean, like, obviously anything's possible, but I seriously doubt that.
That is a belief in their system, in their community.
That community does.
That's been the narrative since the start.
Yeah, that community does love the fucking copium style narratives. They love that cope. Man, they've been spouting cope shit like that since the beginning.
So people were working out that they think the Fed would buy them out at $2 a coin or something.
Not like, I'm sorry, just to be clear, I'm not saying that particular narrative has been around for a long time, but similar shit.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Like it's going to be the settlement layer, and yeah.
But it doesn't matter even if they do, though. All that happens is if they do, is that now XRP is a part of that old system controlled by the old system people, right? So we're still in the same place. Essentially, they've just
Well, can
XRP's become.
Can they print as much XRP as they want?
I think so.
No, it's a fixed supply it's a supply that's been minted with inflation, but the Ripple Labs hold a swag, as does.
But can't they change that?
I just don't
the question.
Can't they change that though? The inflation rate.
Can't they what? Sorry.
Can't they change the emission schedule?
I think anything. You can always change anything if you really want.
I'm sure they can. I don't think it's like Bitcoin where it's very hard to do.
No, the emission schedule is not bad anyway. It's like 1 or 2%. It's not massive. But yeah, it's more the
only way any kind of government is going to like take on one of these cryptos is if they can control it.
Exactly.
There's just no way that there's no incentive for them to.
So which one can they control?
But wait, the question that everyone needs to ask themselves is why the F would they buy an existing one and not just start their own? They would just create their own. Most of this shit is open source. It's dumb. They're not. The American government is not going to buy Ripple. That's dumb.
No.
I mean,
they'll probably use stable coins.
I agree.
Even USDC, they could just make their own.
Yeah,
they could literally make Fed coin. They don't need to buy anyone out. Like
it's going to be in 3 months. It's going to be,
and then they can make the regulatory structure around it and basically be like, if you don't use this one, you're going to jail. Like that. It's
do you not? That's what USDC is becoming. If you can't see that they've regulated, they already own it because they regulate it. And they're bringing more and more tighter regulations in. It is hot. Yeah. It is tracked and traced everywhere.
You know what? You're probably right that with a stable coin, it's more plausible that they would just use an existing one because there's none of this like having to like acquisition cost. You just allow it to continue existing and
just regulate it.
Yeah. And as part of their regulation, they just make it that they can do control P. Like they can just make as much of it as they want because they're the government. Do you know what I mean? So they effectively co-opt it. Like
they hold the asset that allows it to be minted. So all they got to do
and censored and deleted and everything. Yeah.
Like buy some bonds or whatever, and just put that into circulation.
More of their asset, and then they have it.
Yeah. It's
And they can censor any transaction, via courts or whatever, because it's possible to. Which is why I just don't see why anyone holds stable coins. And going back to tangent, going back to before, like you were so bullish on the crypto market. I just don't understand you'd be stacking stable coins.
Fundamentally.
Yeah. So why would you be stacking stable coins if you thought the crypto market was bullish?
Well, there's that whole thing about how the market can be irrational in terms of prices can go down. Prices can go down while the fundamentals are the best they've ever been, because they are. The fundamentals in crypto are literally the best they have ever been, ever.
The only reason to hold stable coins is to buy toilet paper.
Well, it's to mitigate against downside volatility that may or may not occur, and and just to have.
So before the fork, are you going to swap it all for HEX and then dump it back into stables after the fork or anything?
Well, you're assuming that we'll even know when the fork's going to happen. I'm still working under the assumption that Richard's not going to give us any notice.
He said he'll give us notice. He said it a number of times that he'll give us notice.
He said, he did say, I heard him say once that he was going to give us a heads up, but what does that mean? Like
for weeks. It'll be a big
I
marketing.
think version 3.
I don't want to miss that marketing out.
Because prior to that, he had also said that he didn't want people to be able to try and like game certain elements and shit like that. So he wasn't going to give us notice.
No, you just don't give the exact block height, so people can't do the flash loany crap. You just give them a vague kind of block height, and then it happens.
So,
you know it's going to happen in a couple of weeks or whatever. Then he gets to go on live, tell everyone about it. We get to get all pumped. The price starts rocking it up. That brings more attention. Then it's a big event. Like it's a big, massive marketing event. I would have thought.
To answer your question though, the amount of stables that I hold / will hold at the time of the fork relative to my total portfolio is so small. I don't need to worry about that shit. Like I don't need to be like, oh shit, if that had been HEX instead, then I think like, and that stable got turned off on the other network. It doesn't fucking matter. If it's $1, if it's worth roughly $1 before the fork, and then it's still worth roughly $1 after, and they all get switched off over on Pulse, and I get no added benefit from the fork, I just won't give a fuck. Like so.
Are you going to try?
Purpose of me.
Are you going to try to trade on Hedron? Because this started from us talking about you cashing out some Hedron when it fell out of the parabola. Does that mean you're going to try to buy Hedron at the bottom and try to trade it, or?
I mean, look, I wasn't planning to have it as a coin that I was going to actively trade. In fact, HEX is pretty much the only coin I actively trade. I really don't trade anything else.
Tangent that you're just going to sell Hedron, like when you get a big enough bag, you can mint it and sell it. Is that basically what you think you're going to do?
I hadn't really thought about it.
You know what? We're drilling Tangent a lot about what he does with his.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, it's fine. It's good. I need to think about. I need to eventually make these decisions, right? So, like, why not now? You know, to think about it, to start thinking about it.
I would have thought trading Hedron would have been easier than trading HEX.
That's a good point. Because it's newer, you're more likely to have volatility.
Like HEX, you're losing out on staking if you're holding it liquid, just trying to time markets with HEX. But with Hedron, like, what are you going to do? Either trade it or you chuck it into liquidity pools, I suppose.
I personally have always maintained that I don't ever want to be 100% staked in HEX. I don't think that's a logical maneuver to be 100% staked.
We are running over time. I might get a job driving an Uber at this rate. What's going on?
Oh, mate, if you're getting a bit tired, mate, you can go to bed. That's all right.
No.
We'll be all right, mate.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm good then. It's been good chat. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry. Thanks for putting up with me, and April, of course, and we'll be back for more of that next time. And
it was really nice to meet you.
I'll see you later. Thank you.
Nice to meet April.
See you, uNrekt. It was really nice to meet April. Cheers, man.
Do you want to see April? April, do you want to say goodbye?
Bye.
So she
Bye.
Bed so I can mess it up again.
That's right.
See you.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, I because I would always have a bag of liquid HEX. Always. I'm just go straight to the top shelf, give you the most extreme example that I give people now of why it would be stupid to be 100% staked. Say if the HEX price tomorrow went to $5 million per HEX and you are 100% staked, so you can't even sell a single HEX for $5 million while it's up there. You'd be kicking your own ass. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So, like, I'm fine with people being like 95, 99% staked, but you should just always, like, I just think being 100% staked is just, there's no point. Like, you want to be able to exercise that right to sell some if it pumps real hard.
That's why Maxi is so great, because like you are kind of like holding HEX liquid in a way, but it's also earning, earning max kind of payback on it.
Has the thing stopped? Has the thing ended yet?
No,
got
3 days.
3 more days. Oh, so people should look into that if they haven't already.
Yeah. And it's already trading on Uniswap because you can mint your coins.
And did you say they've already hit the max for the bigger pay better bonus?
Yeah, they're going for 250 mil now. They've done. Actually, I can look up exactly what it is.
But what's the point though if it's already maxed out?
Well, people can jump in
Yeah,
and
I
they're going
mean,
to get
it's
that
just
10% extra. The difference
Yeah.
is that if you got in before the 150, you were doing it hoping that you gets to 150 to get the maximum. Now, if it's a no-brainer, you know that you're definitely getting it.
I see what he's saying. In fact,
So
that's
it's up to
interesting
nearly
that you.
175 mil X.
That's actually very interesting, day 43, that so many people went in right at the start when there was no bonus for you get the exact same shit if you do it the smart play would have been to wait towards the end to see
Well, it went from 100 to 150 super quick, bro. It went from 100 to 150 in like a day and a half or something. It was like super quick.
There was no risk. There was no risk going in early though. So what the only risk
it's
you
just
had
like
was
an
you weren't going to get
extra
the 10%. Yeah. So
Which, but can I just say, in my mind, like I know that if you're putting in a little bag, you're getting that gas saving. But in my mind, the only reason to do Maximus was for that 10%. In my mind, like just that extra bonus.
No.
What about the liquidity?
That's me.
I reckon
what about the liquidity?
Yeah, liquidity is more important than that.
Liquidity is for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as well,
there's
you look at
there's that. But I guess the point is that's something that the average, like only sharks can probably, sharks and whales can probably stake 150 million hex. Yeah. Like it's tough for any other entity to do that. So to be able to get a piece of that action, that 10% extra T-share action,
that's 10%. Do you give a shit about 10%?
I think in 15 years you will. I think
maybe
that 10%.
15 years.
You know what? It's that means extra payout every single day to that.
Yeah.
Like it's 10%. It's more shares, so it's more payout every single day.
Yeah.
10% more payout every day.
I mean, it's no competition to the longer pays better. I mean, you get times by 2. You get a 200% increase. So times by 3. Sorry.
It dilutes the payout of everyone very slightly. It dilutes everyone else's payout very slightly.
No, Bob in chat's correct. It just caps at 10%.
Yeah.
So you're getting 10% of a greater amount.
Yeah.
It's not like that 10% is distributed against more people, if that makes sense. So it's not the same 10% getting just. No.
What I'm saying is that the payout now everyone else is getting less because you're getting a little bit more of the payout, because the amount that's getting minted is like a set number of hex, right? And now that has to get distributed like this. Your percentage of the staked hex is now a bit bigger than it would have been otherwise. So you're going to get a little bit more, and everyone else who's not in that pool is going to get a little bit less. So
No, that's true. I'm more with Tangent on this one. I reckon the liquidity affords you is the killer feature. You can remove, and this is what I think may happen. This was an experiment, and it's been a good experiment. I think it's locked up. It's taken a lot of hex off the market, and locked it up, and people will see how this plays out over time. If it tracks the price freely, people can go in and out of it, and they can move into getting a slice of that action. That's a good thing. Now, if another one's not released, then that may mean it trades at a premium for that feature. But the reality is it's pretty easy to do another one of these. So if the founders don't do another one, someone else may do. Very easy for that to happen.
And you could just get together with, let's say, if you're not like a big enough of a whale or big enough of a player, but you're like, you can afford a 20th of that. Maybe you get 20 people together who can all afford a 20th of it or a 10th of it, and they all put in together and just do a private version of this.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's like a unit trust.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity there. and that's why I was saying that what these guys created is such an amazing thing and really an altruistic thing that they've done for the community.
Yeah, I'm interested. On one hand, I don't want to see another one come out because I think it'd be interesting to see how this one plays out, where everyone's trying to buy into it to get a piece of this, because that would make it trade at a premium. But I just don't think it's going to be. I think it's more like a unit trust than that speculative play sort of thing. So I think there'll be more of them coming out for sure.
This is a good comment by Johnny Chaos. Because of the share rate, no Maxi copy will produce the same amount of yield. Yes.
Yeah. At this point in time, yeah, true. Yep.
Yeah, they do
this
it a
is
year
like
later.
this is the maxing out of the amount of yield you can get. Like essentially, once you get that 150 million hex, you're maxing out the amount of yield you can get. Like
I know what he's saying is that if V2 came around,
it would be late. The share rate would be.
Yeah. It wouldn't have the Hedron launch bonus either attached to it.
True. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I reckon it's a cracker of idea. I really I hope it's embraced. Well, I've already seen this. It's embraced.
Although there could be new projects that come out that the new contract or the new iteration of Maxi could incorporate those new tokens into it. You know, so there's all sorts of things can happen in the future.
Sure.
But I like the idea of this, that being able to do it privately, like just with like a group of people who all agree, oh, let's all just do this privately. You set up the contract, and then it's a private thing.
The private one though is the liquidity. Like that's one of the the benefits of having so many people in this contract is it has a lot of attention, and people can, trade it as an ERC, like any ERC20.
Yeah,
whereas if you have a limited amount of people, then who's going to want to necessarily?
No, but a private one works differently. So at the moment, you set up legal structures, a unit trust, and things like that, and you're not after immense liquidity. If someone's looking to exit, then someone else buys out their units. So it stays private.
But
so you're not
taking that legal risk. Like
what's that?
Why would you take on that legal risk if you can just buy Maxi?
It's
not everyone wants to be in crypto and play with all the crypto stuff, and so put it this way, I've got a personal business case use for that where it's suitable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and they go on tangent.
Do you guys know how the Hedron claiming works trustlessly? Like that's something I didn't look into, and then further to that question, what if something was to get created after after this contract gets launched, like a bit like Hedron, that is claimable based on staking that they weren't aware of to code into the contract to start with? How is that going to be done trustlessly?
It can't be. You won't get them.
Fuck. That could be massive.
Yeah, or people could also airdrop specifically to Maxi holders as well on the other side of the coin.
Yeah, fair.
It's hard to know. There's too many variables to be able to say this can't happen or this won't happen, because if the claim process is simply this address, which has a stake,
like a Merkle tree,
you claim by looking at the stake ID and then looking at the number of like hex that were originally staked, and then that like running this separate contract deposits funds into that account. I guess no one can actually access those funds at the end because no one has the private keys for it. So from that perspective, it doesn't, no matter what happens for the Maxi one, it never can claim and can never distribute any other airdrops that happen. There might be airdrops that the address can receive, but they will never get distributed because they can't, there's no one to distribute it. So it's just that. But in future iterations of a Maxi contract could incorporate future coins that come out.
but they have to write it into the contract probably.
They'd have to write it into the
in Maxi. They specifically wrote something into the contract for Hedron and how to get the Hedron and how to distribute it to everybody. And for instance, with the new Pulse Dogecoin, HSIs can't claim it because they would have had to have written something specific into their contract to be able to let them do that.
So you know what I think we're on the verge of seeing is HEX has been, and I'm not trying to be derogatory here, but HEX has been very one-dimensional in the way it has operated. So it's you buy it, you lock it up, that's it. That was its thing, and it's done that really well, and it'll continue to do that really well. But what we're going to see evolve out of things like Hedron and Maxi is essentially double staking, so yields on yields. So if you have a look at, say, something like Hedron, you go create a stake, and then you've got the ability to tokenize it. What can you do with those tokens? Can you lock those up somehow and get more rewards on them? You go set up a Maxi stake. Everyone gets given Maxi. What do you do with your Maxi? We can go stake that somewhere and get yield on that. So I think there's going to be this evolution where we see this play out on all the other chains where people find ways to put another layer in and get a bit more yield and rehypothecate it, and we're going to go down that path for sure.
Yeah,
Tangent. I just wanted to address what your question was before about Hedron, how it does it trustlessly. What it does is and this is in the code, the Hedron code, in Etherscan, if you go to the HEX token and you go to the contract and you go to read contract, which is, you can read stuff from the contract. If someone has an address with stakes in it and I pop it in here, it's going to give you the stake count. And then you use that with stake lists. And it's basically those two functions that give you all the information that they need to get how much Hedron you're going to claim.
Okay.
So they're freely. So that's how it's trustless, because there's no need to. It's a free open information that's there.
Cool.
So guys, wind it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Last words, Jexxa.
It's been a crazy night.
Yep.
Man, that teddy bear cock ring got me, man. That was definitely a dark horse moment for the stream. I normally don't shill my shit, but given that I've lost all my subscribers on my YouTube channel, please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I sound like
seriously, you've lost them all, have you?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it just needs a bit more time.
I think you've got to make a video public to have maybe just make one video public.
I did. But anyway, whether they come back or not, it doesn't really matter. As in, I'll get them back eventually. But And I've actually really been enjoying being on other people's channels, like Crypto Gym Rat's channel. In fact, if I'm not too tired, I'm actually going to go on his stream tonight. So that'll be 11 a.m. EST.
Cool.
Yeah, bro. You got 15 subscribers.
It's like 1 hour from now.
Bluey.
Yeah, we're living in airdrop city at the moment, aren't we? It's like just airdrop after airdrop, and if you want to please his airdrop. And I like you with your gag in the mouth.
That sums this shit up.
Holy shit, that's hilarious. Fucking hell.
So
I'm 12. What is this?
Like we said, definitely not financial advice.
So, like, on the one hand, it's really difficult at the moment to kind of like, especially when you're telling new people about like HEX or whatever. It's like there's so much to tell people. And there's so many airdrops coming, and it's like.
Wait, do you want to just list? Do you want to just list them off? I want to make sure that I didn't miss any. There's Hedron, Pulse Doge one. There was that. What else
Pulse
was there?
Doge coin.
Coin.
That's it, really. That's it. And we're just kind of conjecturing that this is just the start of.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is the start.
Right.
This is the start. The start of the airdrops. Next cycle, they're just going to be airdrop after airdrop after airdrop.
Are you guys committed to always telling people when there's a new airdrop on each of these streams? That would be a good reason for people to always tune in.
If we're comfortable,
I need to see that there's always
good
that
point.
risk.
Yeah, good point.
Like, I don't want to just go out and like, I knew about the other one a week ago, but we didn't really, talk about it.
Fair. No,
because we needed to verify stuff. Yeah. Need to verify stuff. And it was, even after we verified it, it was still a bit like, there was a lot of skepticism in the community. So we do need to, be careful. We don't want people getting wrecked. That's for sure. Like, can you imagine, like, if you go and talk about something and then there's, even if it's not malicious, even if it's just like there's a bug that fucks people over, So.
Yep.
All right, guys. Bluey, did you want to say last words?
No, that's it. They're my last words. Just like, get ready for Airdrop City.
Yes.
Yep.
I concur. Big shout out to the guys in the chat, guys and girls in the chat. We love you. You guys are awesome. And we'll see you next week. Peace.